All right, listen, man. Welcome to my name is AR Stratusbyrde. You can call me AR, probably a little bit long, and appreciate y'all coming on. How y'all feeling?
Feeling good, feeling good.
Feeling good, feeling great.
So I know that what's on the screen that may not be everyone's culture, right? My culture wasn't that bad. That's crazy, but I think that's PA in Philly, and this is 2022. 2022. So, but heavy. What is your perspective on culture or any when you hear the word culture? What do you want to say about it?
You mean just like my overall perception of culture, or my opinion of our culture?
Well, for you personally, when you hear the word culture, what comes to mind? You can think about your
Oh,
childhood upbringing, whatever, because it's multiple.
yeah, yeah, bro. Like when I think of culture, man, I think of you know, I think of music first. That's the first thing I think of, and I think of the music that I used to listen to as a kid growing up. I think of family. I think of our family structure. You know, I think of the way we talk. You know, and I think how we treat each other has a lot to do with culture too. Um, so I think a lot of different things. You know, when I'm asked culture.
Appreciate you sharing that, Roberto. What up, man? You was here yesterday. This is a topic I'm probably gonna stick on for a while. But when you hear the word culture, what comes to mind?
What comes to mind? I would say music, uh, our clothing, our way of life. I wouldn't necessarily say the nuclear family because a lot of us didn't have the nuclear family growing up, but cousins, aunties, and uncles meant a lot to us. Um, Television, seeing ourselves on television at a very good time and a neutral time where um, in our time we didn't see as much racism as the people before us. So we didn't really get it that tough as far as racism go. But I thought our culture was beautiful a while back, and it just started to degrade after the crack epidemic. And this is what we have now. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with the culture we had before.
All right. Now your name is Ronnie, right? With the stack. How you
Yeah.
pronounce your name?
Oh, the standard RLC.
Oh, your name is Ronnie, though, right?
Yeah, Ronnie, it's fine.
Okay. So, Ronnie, when you hear the word culture, what comes to mind?
Man, it's me for me, common shares of beliefs, values, and other things with other people. It's a bit difficult for me because I teach sociology, so like our second unit is in culture, so it's giving me a chance to like kind of explore what other cultures do and like how we're similar and how we're different. But when I think about our culture in particular, I'm more or less thinking about like you know just the I mean common beliefs and values, things that we share, that we come together collectively on, whether that be music or music or shoot, what else do we come together on? But just like anything that we share as a people or as a group, like that's culture. Because like there's always cultures inside of cultures, inside of cultures, inside of cultures, inside of cultures. So uh, it's just sometimes they get the groups get narrowed down a little bit based on common beliefs, but common beliefs mostly common beliefs and behaviors.
All right, thank you for sharing that, Rasan. What up, brother?
What's going on? What's going on with you?
I know you're very vocal what you believe in and what you want to say. Um,
Right.
which is great. When you hear culture, what comes to mind?
All right. So when I had culture, it's just the ways and the ways and experiences and actions of the people, whatever nationality that we're looking at. So like in America, like United States, we have a whole bunch of different cultures, like the brother just said a couple of minutes ago, and it just depends on So it to me, it just depends on what the people are actually going to, get upon what their coach is going to be. And at this point here now, look, the culture is it's a whatever culture right now. It's not even something like solidified. But that's my idea of a culture, like the ways, beliefs, the arts, the crafts, the eating habits, the music habits, everything. That creates a culture.
You see with the culture, they try to do that virtual rapper. Did y'all see that? They
I
try
heard
to create
about it. I didn't see it.
a virtual rapper. So that means I'm just expanding. A virtual rapper would be getting a record deal and taking the place
Right.
of an actual human receiving crazy. And they made him like, I guess white, but like with the image of a ghetto black person. I don't know. It was fucking weird.
He basically looked like a combination of like, well, they based it probably off of Travis Scott. That's the way it looked like. Like he had dark dreads, tall, skinny, goofy kind of. I just mostly know the aesthetic. I hadn't heard what he actually put out, but I heard he got quote unquote canceled because of the N word. Yeah. They let him say the N word.
He was just as black as what's that actress that claimed to be black? Oh man, I lost it. It's an activist for Black Lives Matter. He claims to be black, but both parents are white.
Sean King. You talking about Sean King?
But listen, right? Coco, how are you?
Hi, how are you? I'm good.
All right. Your first time on here. I appreciate having you. When you just hear the word culture, what comes to mind?
Style, food, our music, our physical representation, our slang, how we present ourselves, the copying that they do. Like if I think of culture, I think of how ironically we're no longer a culture in a sense. It's like I think about what we were, but not what we is. Culture now is not culture what it was. So that's if I can go off of that, that just about it. Style, food, the music that we have, and our slang.
Yep. All right. You're talking about that Ebonics, right? Slang is Ebonics.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Ebonics. The way we talk to each other, the way we relate to each other, the conversation we have. Like it used to be, I wouldn't say secret. It was more so of a understanding, in a sense.
Do you think that when a good amount, especially the drill rappers, do you think that it's they speak slang because they choose to do that, or they actually don't know how to speak proper English?
So I'm from Chicago, so a lot of the drill music started from Chicago.
Well, let's start with them.
So
I don't know what they're saying.
He said what?
I honestly don't know what they're saying.
Honestly, I really don't think you want to know what they're saying.
I'm
A lot
pretty sure they're
of
going to
music is dedicated to like beef. It's not like you rapping about something to progress yourself. Don't get me wrong. I love my Chicago rappers, but at the same time, it's not something that I be like, ooh, what am I doing? Listen to all the time. Like some stuff is catchy. You know, you get a vibe when you're around family because even back then, certain music we shouldn't have listened to that we was listening to. It was just melodic. I think now it's just getting out of hand. They rap like that because that was like the era of drill, but it was kids. But now adults rapping like that, it kind of takes away. Like you didn't leave that at a kid level. Y'all didn't progress. Y'all doing this at adult age where y'all close to 30 and y'all rapping about shooting and killing. Like I don't know. It's annoying for the most part.
They say when one of them approach you, if you feel threatened, just pull out a job application and the threat will disappear. You know, but anyway, right? Bishop, Welcome back,
do
man.
do the Uncle Ruckus. The Uncle Ruckus. Read, nigga, read.
Read, Bishop, when you hear culture, just what comes to mind of culture? Not the actual definition, but just to you, what comes to mind?
First off, can you guys hear me? All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you again, AR, for having me on the panel, man. I appreciate it. When I think culture, man, I just think like the agreed upon cultural standard of the collective, right? Like everybody said, music, art, food, language. I think it's just what we've all agreed to be the standard, right? And as we look at modern Black culture, this may be a hot take, but I believe everything that we have agreed upon collectively as the standard is hot garbage. It's trash, unfortunately. The things that we push, the things that we celebrate, the things that we accept as the norm, it's trash, and that can be food, music, language, mindset. It just it's all, none of it benefits us or moves the needle forward to give us as the Black community an equitable future for all that are a part of the collective. So that's what I think of when I think of culture.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, so as we're gonna start here, I'm really not. Most times I do know because I am the one coming up with the topics. I do my studies on it, but honestly, with this, it's not crystal clear on what exactly is the issue. We know government has something to do with probably allegedly.
Right.
The violence and the guns and the drugs being brought to communities, but I don't know where the actual root problem is. Maybe with single parent households, dysfunctional households, lack of therapy, and now recently we had a therapist, a Black man, say, you know what? I'm not going to beat this woman's ass, so let me go get therapy myself. Let me go get help. He went to get help, and she publicly bashes him. So I don't think we can even go to therapy for our to deal with our traumas, right? Why is it that Roberto brought this up yesterday, right? Streets that's named at the Black civil rights activists are pretty ghetto, right? Not all, I don't know all of them, but I'm in New York City, and Martin Luther King Boulevard is not a friendly location. Malcolm X Boulevard is not a friendly location. The Harriet Tubman School in the Bronx it really feel like a fucking under railroad. It really feel like you're underground dealing with some real shit, right? So we're gonna start with you, Grant, first. You just tell me whether you agree with it, you disagree with it, but let's try not to blame the white man. I know that's hard for us to do. I know it's hard, but if you want to do that, that's fine. But why do you think that predominantly street activists, streets that's named after them, are very violent or just ghetto? Gannat, we're gonna start with you first.
You said Gannat? You mean Gant, bro? You talking to me?
Yeah. Oh, you on mute now.
How do you pronounce your name? I apologize.
Nah, just Gant, heavy Gant.
Gant. Okay,
Yeah.
Gant. Okay, my bad. Okay.
So I mean, why certain blocks in the hood are named like after Martin Luther King, and it's a horrible area? Like, why is it named after Martin Luther King?
No, why are those areas horrible? What do you think,
man? That's a big, I mean, there's a lot of different answers to that, right? Like, I mean, we could talk about all the things that we would agree on. If we want to talk about redlining and mass incarceration and all that shit, and COINTELPRO, then I would agree with you. But the fact is nobody's really coming to fix that. The people in that community got to fix that. That's the truth. Like, we may agree all day on who did it. Ain't nobody coming to fix that shit, bro. But the people in that community.
Damn, you made a good point. I mean, that's common sense. I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah, you're right. I don't live on Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Who's coming to fix it? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really the question, right? Like, it sounds good. If you sit here and say that, well, we need to give back, and this is what I heard, right? Like, I heard them say black men need to be back in the hood. You need to be rebuilding and all this other shit. Sounds great. Sounds great, but it doesn't really have any application because black folks that don't live there ain't the ones who did the damage. Who are the people that did the damage? I'm not saying that we shouldn't go back. I'm just saying there's no realistic application. Like, what do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? Rebuild it how?
Damn, Roberto, this is actually your topic. Streets that's named after black civil rights activists are relatively ghetto. What's your thoughts on it? And
That's because our mentality is ghetto. I mean, that's just what it is. The hood mentality is what's destroying the community. And until we get rid of that, it's gonna stay the same. You know what I'm saying? Just because we don't have much money, don't mean we have to be bad people.
Hey, that's right.
That's a choice.
That's right.
Anybody that try to blame poverty, that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It's just a mentality. The music is kind of subconsciously promote that. You know what I'm saying? That's starting to be our shit. That black folks don't take no shit from somebody. Getting our ass whooped growing up, that kind of showed you. It kind of put in your head that if you do something wrong, you need to be physically beaten. And coming up like that, we feel like that. Anybody say the wrong thing, you need your ass beat. So we just have a violent mentality, and it was kind of instilled in us through slavery, and then trickled down with our parents and stuff like that. But deep down, it really didn't help us because my parents growing up, they got ass whoopings and they still ended up in prison. People in prison is not because of a lack of ass whoopings. It's because of lack of a lot of discipline, lack of guidance. And we just have a bad mentality, and we have to learn how to become a classier people too. Once we learn how to be classy and stop rejecting being classy, I think we'll get it together. That's the only way we'll fix this. We need to become a little more cornier than what we are.
Yeah, man, I surely did get my ass beat. It's so funny when I see my mom with her grandson. He says she says, I want you to go sit over there. He says, why do I have to sit over there? And she's actually explaining it to him. The reason why I want you to go because I don't want this to hit you. But me growing up, it was just like, what you said to me? No, but why do I have to go over there? Whap. So, but Ronnie, what's your take on creating culture, right? Streets named after black civil rights activists are ghetto.
Well, I really did my best to think about, because being from Detroit, going to school in Montgomery, Alabama, I've been privy to a lot of things named after black people. And I mean, Detroit is Detroit, so think about that how you want. But when I was, every Martin Luther King Boulevard I ever been to, and it's always Martin Luther King Boulevard in particular, I won't say it's the worst, but it's pretty much up there as being ghetto. I'm not sure how to word this because the thought kind of just came to my head, but I think when they name the streets after black people, it kind of ensures that white people don't want to be around it or don't want to be involved in it because they're not going to fix it anyway, but they really don't want to touch it for some odd reason. I think anything named after black people, white people feel excluded, and they're just like, we're going to leave that alone. And then for us for people who want better for themselves and want to live in other places, we tend to stay away from it too because, that's not the better environment. I think the people who live around those areas, I mean, of course, they got to, you got to do the work and fix it, change the culture, because the things that, like I think the brother said earlier, the things that we embrace are I don't believe many of it is good because, like, even when we explained what culture was, the main things that came up for black folks was style and entertainment stuff. You know what I mean? We can say we value education, but the numbers don't show it for real. We can say we value family, but you know what our situation is. So the areas that have those people, they don't have that culture. They don't. I'm not sure how they explain it, because it's like the drive around those areas just isn't there for some odd reason. The drive to get out and do better. I don't know what it is, but something about that is a magnet, it seems, for ignorance. Because I think even and I had this thought in my head, and I'll make this point and leave it alone. Um, I live in Houston now, and on the south side of Houston is Martin Luther King Boulevard, Martin Luther King Street, whatever it is. But what I thought about and I found funny is that the street runs all the way into University of Houston and stops. University of Houston don't want nothing to do with Martin Luther King Boulevard. So it's something about that area that people just don't want to touch, and I don't understand it.
Hank, what up, brother? I know you're a busy guy. You was able to stop by. Do you like the reel I posted about you?
Nah, they like it at all because you ain't shit for putting that on.
What's your thoughts on this, right? Streets named after Black civil rights activists are ghetto.
It's hard to deny that. I mean, it is what it is, you know. It's just unfortunate. But, you know, our culture is trash right now. And unless we do something to change it, it's going to continue to be trash, and we just got to accept it and move on, I guess. I mean, I don't know, because we act like we don't want to change it. We embrace trash mentality. We in trash. One thing I was watching on the news, man, and, you know, that's that mentality of no snitching. That's a trash mentality, man. That is a trash mentality, man. We embrace that shit for years. I even said to my goddamn self, now I'm ashamed of thinking back. God damn, I was an asshole too. I was one of those jerk ass trash, part of the trash culture, encouraging this shit. But it's trash. Like my man said, we get violent. You know, I teach my son, I said, man, look, it takes a bigger man to walk away from a fight to engage in one. Because let me tell you, because the backlash you're going to get from it, it's going to be tough. You're going to hear you was scared, you weak, you a pussy, you this or that. But it takes a weak man to sit there and fight. Anybody could have fought you. It takes you a stronger man to walk away from and accept whatever consequence you have to deal with. Whatever nonsense, whatever talk. But, you know, that's part of our culture. We quit the fight. 80% of our problems in 2022, black issues we deal with, is because of us. Because we don't want to change. We don't want to do something different. You know what I'm saying? Even our political views, we're still stuck in the voting Democrat. Now, I mean, I don't know everybody's political view, but it really doesn't matter. But we need to look at the big picture. You know, vote for people who's going to benefit you and your family and your neighborhood and your surroundings. Don't just vote because your grandfather and your grandmother and your dad and your mom and your uncles now voted Democrat. That don't mean shit. You got to look beyond that. So
now, Hank, when you said vote for people, no. Everything you just named is vote for a person.
Yes.
Okay? The only person that's going to make America great again. That's what you were describing. So you need to actually include that. But Bishop, right?
There you go, man. Stop that shit. That's why you ain't shit.
Listen, man, even my mom tells me that, so it's official, man. You know, Bishop, you know, what is your thoughts on as far as creating culture, streets that's named after Black civil rights activists are ghetto?
So, Brother Hank, he touched on something. Anybody who's seen my channel, you kind of get an idea where I come from. I think it starts ultimately in the home. It starts with what is passed down from parents to the children. We could talk the macro, right? We can talk, yes, we need to build the black dollar, right? The black dollar, what stays in the community 6 hours, right? If you look at even the Hispanic community, they at least keep their money for a couple of days within the community, right? So we got to start there. We got to build an economic base. We know that, right? We need to practice group economics. We need to stop allowing outside sources and forces to come in to continue separating us, right? We allow the Arab, we allow the Asian to come in and take our money and then leave with it and go build their community. So obviously we can talk about those things. Those are important. But I don't care how many black businesses you start. I don't care how many black charter schools you taught that you start that teach that there was no major shift in the 1960s when it came to the political parties, that Dr. King was a conservative. I don't care how much you teach that it was Frederick Douglass that actually moved Abraham Lincoln towards the right side of the slavery debate. I don't care how much you teach that, or even teach that Thomas Jefferson, who has been really called out as probably the most racist president ever, was actually a huge proponent of freeing slaves and was voted down numerous times. I don't care how much you teach those things. If you still have within the home parents who teach their children silly things like my brother said, don't stop snitching. If you have parents that teach their children that eating trash all your life is okay because that's just what black people do, if you continue teaching your children that beating them is the only form of discipline that is acceptable, it will never change. And to allow your children to listen to this poison, because I told a friend this the other day, when you look at our music, it's like teaching them how to be trash. First, the rappers are telling be drug dealers, be drug addicts. Not only are you a drug addict, but you are violent. You can't talk out your issues. You can't have a healthy debate. I don't even want to fight you with my fists no more. I just want to shoot you because it's just easier. And then after I do all of that, I'm going to treat my women like they're nothing more than I'm going to use it, a masturbatory tool that has a voice. And they have no other purpose. And then what makes it even worse is that the young ladies co-sign it and they say it's okay because my greatest asset is the thing between my legs or the thing poking behind me. Those are my two greatest assets. So if we don't start teaching our children within the homes, and I don't care if it's one or two parents there, you've got to teach culture in the home. You've got to change the narrative in the home. And if we do that collectively, then everything else will change because you'll start seeing significant shifts. And Hink said it best. If we continue believing that the political party that has done nothing more for the last 50 years than make us empty promise after empty promise after empty promise and placates us with what I like to call the sausage down the hallway politics, we will continue to be in these situations. And y'all will catch that later.
Hey, real quick, I want to get everybody, if you ain't seen it, I'm sure y'all might have on a documentary. It's actually on YouTube free now. It's called Uncle Tom. I watched that a couple days ago, and it was powerful, really. Yeah, I identified with a lot of stuff they said.
Part 2 is up as of yesterday. It's on UncleTom.com. There's a second part.
On where? UncleTom.com?
Either UncleTom.com or LarryElder.com.
No, don't be promoting them. Fuck them. I mean, I agree with them, but fuck them. They ain't paying me. No, fuck that shit. Not text that to each other. No, fuck them. The only thing I will promote if it's political is someone that I believe was sent from the savior himself, which is Donald Trump. If it's not Donald Trump, fuck it, right? E Black, man, what up? Appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey guys, y'all put that in the back chat if y'all don't mind.
What's going on, my guys? So I've been listening to the conversation. You guys been cooking.
So E Black does have a, I really want everyone. I know some people using their cell phone, but I'll drop everyone's channel. But make sure you use this time to try to network with each other. Especially if you like the thing that people are saying. Network with them, follow each other, subscribe, support each other. Coco, how are you?
I'm all right.
All right, I appreciate you being on here. So the street name that's named after Black civil rights activists are ghetto. What's your thoughts on that? Or you don't think they're ghetto? It's up to you.
It depends on the area. In Chicago, it's predominantly blacks that's on King Drive. And for most neighborhoods, ironically, compared to probably most cities, it is it is well maintained because that street leads to our downtown. Now it is certain areas like hypothetically O Block. I know a lot of people heard about that because like the King Bond and the Dirk era, they are from like it's crazy. It's literally a 2 block radius of where they're from that is trash, and then it's like spots. So I feel like honestly, in those places that are trash, it's because of they want it to be. Um, it's called Parkway where they live in. They were selling it for 400,000. They purposely sold it for low. It's like a apartment complex. I feel like in those areas, the landlord, the community, as far as who runs it, choose to keep it that way. So when you choose to keep it that way, in my experience, as far as like from high to low, everything starts from the top. If management don't care about their place, the people that's in their environment is not going to care. They're going to treat it the way it care. And half of the time, the management that are in those places are not black. They're either white, Polish, Ukrainian, anything that's not technically us. So a lot of them times they don't give 2 fucks about it. They hoping that it go down because they know eventually if it goes down that way, that means the way the property is going up, that means they can evacuate like they did our projects here and then build them up. Like a lot of our projects they tore down, but some they kept. They kept it up in like certain areas because they knew that it was a fundamental thing to do for them as far as money. A lot of times people don't understand the most important thing is that we are experimenting on a day-to-day basis. So at the end of the day, I feel like he said earlier, you can choose to be a product of your environment. You can choose to live in certain areas and certain neighborhoods, and it can be trash, or you can choose different. Because, like I said, on King Drive, you have 2 different type of fields if you go down King Drive. It's very historical and very black. So from our south side all the way down to downtown, it's actually, despite the 3%, is a nice street for Chicago.
But Coco, let me ask you: if let's say a building where the projects, whatever, or building were to were to clean up and treat the building, fix the repair, you think that will stop the people from pissing in the elevators?
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes. This is why I'm gonna explain it. It's just like if you in your own house and you let it go. The moment you start acting like you care about your household, because a person only gonna treat your house the way you let it. I teach my child this on a day-to-day basis. You let people come over, you let people throw trash and throw it in the corner. This way you live. See, they can leave and go home and probably don't even treat their shit like how they treat. Excuse my language. Treat their house like they treat yours. You gotta be mindful. Like that apartment ain't just your house. That building, y'all, is representation of a building. It's like most communities, they are a family. Whether it is ups and downs, arguments, anything, is a family. If you choose to allow people to piss in your hallway because you think, well, my apartment clean, I don't care about the hallway, then you just as worse as the people pissing in the hallway.
It's a broken window theory.
Yeah, but let's not go on to that. Russ, son, how you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm just
Appreciate you
listening,
taking time out. I know you're a busy guy. What's your thoughts on this? Right, creating culture. Streets named after Black civil rights activists are ghetto. Do you think it's true, not true, or just what's your thoughts on it?
I mean, in a nutshell, yeah, it is true, but it's how it became about to be of those streets. So of course, if you want to have a street named off of one of our leaders like that, and you want to start off fresh, they need to start a fresh neighborhood like that. So you can't have a bad neighborhood that was always been bad and put that name on that neighborhood and then expect just the name to change the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? So now if you got a bunch of people, like for instance, like I'm from Staten Island, but I've been all around, right? Right now I'm living in North Carolina. My block is good where I'm at now. So if they put Martin Luther King or Malcolm X Boulevard on this block, it's already good. You know what I'm saying? So of course, so now when you put it in that aspect of where you already got a bunch of people that's doing crime on the block, and then you put it on the block, it's gonna say, see, we gave you a block and you still don't know how to do nothing with it. And on the second side to that is, look at us with cars. Look how we deal with cars. If someone sit on your car, you're gonna go crazy. We clean it, make sure the tires is good, make sure it got good premium gas in it, whatever. But on these blocks, we don't own these homes. So if we don't own it, we don't care about it. That's just the way we think, which we shouldn't think like that. What we should be thinking is, let's get in there and then buy it from them. And I guarantee you, we'll make these blocks what they're supposed to be. But when you don't own something, you don't care. It's like if you rent something out. What you say? I don't care. I'm renting it out. I don't care. Look, I'm calling a leasing office. But when you own that house, wait a minute. What you mean the boiler broke? What did you do to break that boiler? So you're more cognizant of what you're doing when you own something. You're giving us blocks that we don't even own. So that's already crime written. So that at that point, it's like, oh well, whatever. We stop caring. Because to us, we're never gonna own it. This is how we think. We're not gonna own it. The city owns it. The government gonna tell us what to do. Oh well, so what? Who cares? So that's how, because we used to have this discussion like over a decade ago, like why is our like the schools? I don't care if it's a leader school or block, it doesn't matter, because we just don't care because we don't own it. Because you can be in those neighborhoods, you see a Hummer in a neighborhood, ain't nobody gonna mess with that Hummer because he owns it. That person owns it. So it's about ownership. Once you take away ownership from somebody, they're not gonna care about it. That's why, like, when people do things to us, they feel like they don't own what we have. They can mock or mimic what we got, but it's still going to relate back to us. It's not going to relate back to the person mocking it. So somebody can mock all our culture all day and destroy it. And they'll say, well, that was your culture. You brought this into the light. So we can take it, destroy it, and it's going to relate right back to you. So we're looking at it like these streets, these neighborhoods that we're in, we're in it, but we're saying it doesn't matter. We don't own it. So it's going to go right back to y'all anyway. And then we're going to have the news put everything like, look, you go to Malcolm X Boulevard and look at that. It's the worst neighborhood in Brooklyn or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So
appreciate you sharing that. You know, E Black, I want to ask you a question regarding what Coco was saying, right? And then you can answer the question. Do you think it would, because I have family that lives in the projects and they do complain about maintenance and elevators not working, stuff like that. And when my one of my aunts, she calls in for repairs, that whole building of the elevators not working, no one calls to complain about it. So a lot of times they don't even know about it. But do you think, just like they was protesting for George Floyd, but if they were to go down to the management building and together, obviously, do you think that will make a difference of them speed up the process to fix whatever stuff's not fixed?
Yeah, but you have to understand, even in those situations to where people are calling in and trying to get things fixed, what that usually means is that they're gonna get higher rents. So a lot of times people just don't even bother because they know that the management doesn't care. 2, it's going to end up in higher rents. 3, they just don't care, and they don't gonna raise our rent if we do make a upset. So, you know, I agree with Coco. A lot of these places really do not have. They're usually used for like your guy Donald Trump. They use them for tax write-offs. They house them. They keep them. They're getting government tax abatement as long as they're using them for, you know, Section 8.
But to clarify, not Donald. I know you said people like Donald Trump, but it's not Donald Trump. You mean more like one of your Democrat fellow, you know, people. One of those, not Donald Trump. He doesn't even do. He actually got back like he doesn't accept welfare or Section 8.
Yeah, I know.
Listen, Donald Trump. Listen, man, talk bad about me, but not Donald Trump, man.
Understood.
No, I'm joking. I'm gonna fuck with you.
I know. But yeah, like I said, it is. I've seen buildings that, like I said, the management. Sometimes the companies are not even in the community. Sometimes they're, a part of a larger corporation, S corp LLC, that really just houses it. And then they figure out, okay, well, we'll hire a service company to service the building, but the service company is going to watch their overhead, so they're not going to send people out. So it's a revolving door, and it's like I said with the what Coco was saying is that, well, if they don't care, I don't care either mentality.
No, you're right on that. I know that even when they calling for complaints of rodents or even whatever mold, they want to come and do an inspection and find out who's living there. So I understand why you don't want them in your apartment, and it's fucked up. The rent does go up, but
Because I've lived in like really good apartments, and they don't care either. Like, trust me, they not, that maintenance man don't care. Trust me, and if trust me, there's a lot of, it's not just poverty communities, it's new development too. There's a lot of shady stuff in the real estate field.
But also you have to admit that people are not going in droves to complain about it. They're not raising hell. They're not causing chaos. Like, listen, this shit is fucked up. They're not doing that. But let's stay on topic, right? Concerning with the question, creating culture, she's saying that the black civil rights activists are ghetto, or maybe they're not. Just what's your thoughts on that?
I think you got to understand why they probably named them there for a reason. You want to create a sense of awareness, a sense of pride. So you put the streets and you name a street Martin Luther King in the black neighborhood because you want to show the people of there that, hey, you're not just who your environment is. There are people like you who can uplift you. And when you drive down the street, these are this person was held in high regard, and you should hold yourself in high regard too. So the purpose is almost kind of what it's almost inspirational. So a lot of times, you're gonna put an inspirational name in an impoverished neighborhood. That makes sense, right? Wouldn't you want to inspire the people? What would you do? You would name a street after a leader that was inspirational. Coco, why are you shaking your head?
I feel like they do that as an insult.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why I say that, they put you, even when they add Barack Obama name to certain neighborhoods, I don't know, out of state. In Chicago, of course, it's gonna be a good street because this is where he's from. I feel like a lot of the times they put people names in a certain area. They create this narrative that they hate us so bad that it's like they put these names here just to show that even though you got this inspiration name, it still ain't shit. And when you go to certain neighborhoods and they got them Malcolm X and them Martin Luther Kings, the neighborhoods ain't, to some people, ain't even worth living in. It's not even something to be proud of because, I live on Martin Luther King Drive. Like he said up in Houston, he'd be like, for real? Most people ain't gonna go in certain areas because it don't matter how powerful the name was or the history, it don't make sense. The same people that put that name there with the same people that broke the person down that is attached to it. So it's like sometimes you may think like, oh, it's for inspiration. They do it hypothetically as a showcase. Be like, oh yeah, we with y'all, we're gonna help y'all, and all the time it's still at the end of the day, it's that Pilgrim and Indian effect. Shake your hand and stab you in the back. That's just my.
I don't know. I feel like
Fair
that's like
assessment.
the victim Olympics, because in 2022, if they don't give black people in urban communities a street name, then it's a problem anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, the white man doesn't make me commit crime. And I know my situation is probably different than others, but I think at the same time, I know my thoughts are different. I think a lot of these parents need to be in prison because they're allowing their children to go around while they're getting their comfortable sleep or they're working. It's causing a lot of damage. But what do y'all think? Black culture ain't shit.
We got some,
like
we got some issues.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you good, bro? You good,
Okay.
It's your turn. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk over you, bro. One of the things is like symbolism. You know what I mean? Like Black folks love symbolism. So we're the ones looking at a sign that's named after whatever Black person, as if it's success or if it means something, as if it's empowerment. You know what I mean? Like I think that's super shallow. You know what I mean? That we pay attention to symbols. I mean, naming a street something isn't going to change what's happening in that particular area.
I mean, I look at it like, okay, so I'm a regular employee. You name me supervisor. Okay, great. Man, that's great. How much is my pay? Oh, it's the same.
Right.
The fuck? Hold up. That's like that thing from the office, right? Assistant to the regional manager. What's the responsibilities? Nothing. You know? But I don't know. But Gant, what do you think about this? Black culture ain't shit.
I don't want. I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to buy into that because I think it's all about what we choose to value. It's what we choose to value outside of Black culture, as especially like, or inside of Black culture, especially with hip hop. You know what I mean? Like hip hop is super negative, but you know what I mean? Like positive artists, we don't really support the same way. You know what I mean? Of course, they're not going to be pushed the same way, but this is 2022. You can listen to whatever you want to listen to, stream whatever you want to stream. You can buy whatever you want to buy. So, I mean, if we want better messages, that comes from the people, because the machine's never going to give us a better message. We got to want the better message and seek those artists out that are already providing a better message. And they out there.
I think.
Go ahead.
I think when it comes down to Black culture, I think a lot of people confuse American culture for Black culture. There's a commercialization of Black people. That's not culture. That's just commercialization. We like to see Black people in a certain light. That's what we consider culture. No, that's not what we consider culture. Culture, like I said, well, I didn't get a chance to answer, but you know, culture is something that, like I said, is passed down, that we value and that we want to continue and maintain. So when you see or you say Black culture ain't shit, you may just be seeing American culture isn't shit, because when you put it in the same light as any other second generation, third generation immigrant, they're doing the exact same thing. American culture does shit to people, human beings. So not only is, I say, what do you value of Black culture, and what is traditionally Black culture? Eating a hot dog in a baseball field is not Black culture. Black culture is deeper than that, and there's a lot of staples. Like I try to tell people, find out what Black culture is, because sometimes Black people are just Black in skin color only. They're not doing anything Black. Just because you buy a record doesn't make you Black. Just because you listen to or play sports doesn't make you Black. Just because you go to a Black barber doesn't make you Black. It just makes you a human being that does things within the proximity of Black people. Black culture has its own histories. It has its own educational system. It has its own value system. So follow those value systems, and that's your Black culture. But if you think that buying a Nas album is Black culture, I'm like, okay, well, Asian people buy it, white people buy it, so they're Black? No.
Well, whatever
So
it is,
Black.
Anybody else is going to be able to participate in whatever the culture is. So, I mean, that may be a part of the culture, but it's always going to be people that participate in the culture.
But just because people in the world. But just because I learned karate doesn't make me an Asian.
Absolutely.
Well, no, absolutely.
So
I like Elton John. Don't make me white. So
right,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, but another one of the Black cultures we embrace is sagging our pants. That's trash, man. That is trash to the third degree. But that's part of our culture for us to do that. We promote it, we encourage it, we endorse it. Doesn't matter.
It's something that seemingly we do on our own, like seemingly we do like just us. Like you don't see I don't see white dudes sagging their pants unless it's like pants they lost like 300 pounds and they poor can't afford new pants. And even then, they got a rope in the rope to hold the pants up. Like it just seems like it's a us thing. You know what I mean?
They even
Um,
make. I took my son shopping. My son's 15. I took him shopping a couple weeks ago for school. They make pants that really don't fit right if you're not sagging them. Like
Yep.
I was shocked. I had him go try the pants on, and my son is an anime nerd to the max. You know, anime, Marvel, all that. He don't listen to none of that drill crap. He don't care, right? We in the store trying to find pants to put on his hips, and he looking at me like, "But Dad, if I put these on my hips and I gotta go to the bathroom, I'm gonna piss on myself because of the way the zipper is." You see what I'm saying? So we can say that American culture has had a negative impact on Black culture, but when we start to export the trash, the dregs of within our culture to the mainstream society, we've got a serious problem because it ain't just Black kids buying those pants. You see what I'm saying? So we've got a serious issue we got to look at and say, well, wait a minute. That's what I said earlier. The things we celebrate within the culture are what makes the culture so bad.
Yeah.
Let me get 1 second before you go on. Let me get Roberto's perspective. Roberto, Black coach ain't shit. Now, when I say that, I'm not saying that I agree. I do agree with it, but what I'm saying is that a lot of these questions, I'm just making a statement, giving a question. But Roberto, Black culture ain't shit. What's your thoughts on that? Agree, disagree first.
I agree with that. But let me tell you something. I've been around the world, and in let's say Latin countries, the murder rate is very high. Middle Eastern countries, the murder rate is very high. In a lot of Asian countries, you have a lot of prostitution. You have a lot of you have a lot of sinful things going on in these countries. Now, when these people migrate and come to America, they act differently. You don't see bad Nigerian neighborhoods in America. You don't see bad Asian communities in America. You understand what I'm saying? But you do see bad communities when it comes to us. You understand what I'm saying? So it's something about our mentality as American Black Americans. We gravitate to the music. The music has more of a hold on us than religion. And as you can see with our music, it's really what's it's really what's cultivating our culture, nothing else. And this is why I'm not really stuck on the whole it starts in the home thing. I think it starts in the environment, because let's face it, we can't help what kind of situation we're born into. A lot of us don't have fathers in the homes, but the environment does not have to be the way it is. We need the environment because a lot of kids just don't gravitate to what their parents say. This is why preachers' daughters are out here being wild. At home, yeah, they're under strict rules, but what happens when they get out? The environment takes over. So,
well, the environment's kind
really
of like it is.
Yeah, we really have to concentrate on the environment. We have to concentrate on shame and bad behavior. We don't do that no more in the Black culture. We need to fix the environment because the homes are shitty already. So after that, you have to start fixing the environment. You don't have to. It's been times where I've seen people in my neighborhood open their car doors as they're driving and throw out fast food bags and drive off. I've been in apartment complexes where I've seen two young Black dudes whip their dicks out and start pissing and walking at the same time. I've actually seen this. It ain't got nothing to do with maintenance. It's just shitty ass mentality. And people, this is just the world that we live in. People don't give a fuck.
I think that
But hold on,
I mean,
Ronnie. Before you go, hold on,
oh,
Ronnie. Let
go
me
ahead.
try to go in order. Make sure everyone gets a chance to talk. Coco,
Okay.
Black culture ain't shit. Now, if you disagree with that, then you could just speak up for any perspective you want, but just tell me what's good about it, or if you agree with it.
Um, I don't agree with it. I feel like it's certain aspect that it's not shit as far as like today's music and how we carry ourselves, how we allow each other to be disrespected, and the fact that we don't have a village like we did growing up as kids. I feel like growing up, my mom was strict. Like some people may think it's to abuse her, but she had it to where that kids knew to respect her. They all loved her. She was always auntie, but they respected her. Some even respected her more than their own parents. But you couldn't disrespect your parent in front of her, you know, because some parents was lenient. I feel like now it's to the point that with our culture is don't say nothing to my kid. You can't say nothing, like we can't vent to each other or talk to each other or help each other out because we too busy thinking that hypothetically somebody trying to make us a victim, somebody trying to down talk us when all in all sometimes it's help. And then it progressed to more than that, to like us being disrespectful. I feel like our culture as a people is kind of is blurred right now.
All right. So you think the culture is moderate, good, bad? I mean, what do you think?
I feel like
I know culture is a very broad, but yeah.
it's very broad. I feel like we still have what we represent, what people say. Because even to this day, if you look at today's people, any other culture, any other demographic of race, or anybody that's not melanated like us, they try to copy us. We are the most well loved and most disrespected race of people. As much as we don't even realize that our culture is being jacked. And it's like we what we do is we quick to say welcome to the cookout. Anybody that speak highly of black or fake like they care for me, we speak highly of black. I can't really say is we don't have one. I can just say it's blurred lines in between of where we at and where we should be.
That's cool. Yeah, I agree. You know, Rasan, what do you think, man? Black culture ain't shit. Do you agree or disagree? And just what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, black culture ain't shit. But it's coming from a different perspective too. So, I grew up in the 80s. So before we even picked up a gun, you better had to use your hands. Before you use your hand, it had to be for a reason. It was never for no reason. Yeah, I get it. We grew up around the 5%ers, the Wu-Tang and all that stuff like that. And there's certain things that just wasn't acceptable. Like we used to take care of the old ladies who couldn't pay their rent. I mean, of course, people didn't respect our way of getting money, but the older generation understood certain aspects of it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it could have been destroying the community. I'm not gonna say it didn't, but back in the 80s, you had to get in where you fit in. And it was like right now, so the reason why the culture is not shit because we just allow anybody to come in there and do whatever they want. We just allow anybody. I don't care what they say or what they do, right? So not for nothing, like my sister's father's a congressman in South Carolina, and I sit there and I ask people certain questions. Like we always had the why we had to do that. Like back then we had our own stuff. You had your own hairdos. The girls had their own way they wore their clothes. No one jacked our stuff because that was us. The way we ate, the music we listened to. Because remember, before they got into the gangster music limelight, it was all about um shooting down apartheid, and we went against Reebok, and we were doing all this stuff for Africa. Then in America, we had songs like "You Must Learn," and so we was going off of X Clan. We just had so many different intelligent hoodlum. We had so many different aspects that nobody wanted to be in line with that, and we didn't allow anyone just to come in and bulldoze what we was doing. So, and I'm not gonna lie, black culture helped me go to prison because the same thing. I forgot what we said. I forgot who said it earlier about the yo. if somebody do something to you, automatically they got to get the pain. That was it. There wasn't no talking. If you let somebody slide, then you was the herb on the block. Everybody was doing whatever. And that, when I was an adolescent and went to prison, I'm in prison with 1,600 adolescents. So you can only imagine, with all of us in the same train of thought, how we were thinking in prison. We're no longer in the streets, because we want to make sure when we get back to the streets knew what we did in there. That was destructive. It's all the way destructive. I don't care what nobody said, because I saw what it did. Because it was, don't let him do that to you. That was black codes, outside of the reading the books. Because in there, even in the streets, you got to read books. You got to go to school. This is where, when you get into the right people around you, read this book. I was reading books at the age of 16, 17, respecting women, see old ladies, help them go to the elevator, make sure they were safe. Kids was actually able to go outside without somebody worried about something bad happening to them. Now, luckily, I'm a boxer. I got to teach my son how to box, because I don't know if he's gonna make it home from school or not. You know what I'm saying? And we was all outside. The old folks knew, like, don't worry about it. Yeah, the teenagers is outside, so they'll take care of the little kids. The little kids had to go out upstairs. It was just a lot of things that we were doing that's different. Was it kind of destructive? Yes, it was. But it's not as bad as it is now, where even the little kids are out of control, or they're in danger. They're in danger now. And they don't understand it. So I got to tell my son, like, yo, listen, you got to walk with your head up now. So I got to, yo, text me when you get home. I remember when we went outside, your parents said, come home when the street lights come on. They didn't care what you did, where you were, because they knew in our culture, they were protected, because they was not in that limelight. Make sure nothing happens to the kids. But now, yo, son, let me know when you're home. He's about to be 16, and I got to have him text me to make sure he's all right. And in my mind, I'm thinking, if something happened, what I'm going to do? I'm at work. What I'm going to do about it? So now I got to teach him how to look out for everything now. So what I do in my neighborhood, because there's a bunch of gang members around here and all that stuff like that, which you're going to see anyway. We try to get away from it, but we're never going to get away with that. So what I do is I go out and I speak to them. They know who my son is. And it's bad, because those are his protector. Because if not, the bullying come to play, and who's that? And he's oblivious to what's going on to a certain extent, because he's like, well, I know my dad be telling me about this, so I know what to look out for. So when we talk about the culture, then he listens to the music. You're listening to music from people who actually be doing nothing but drugs. That's all they do is drugs. And I'm like, so what do you get from that? So I sit down and I talk to him, because I never had a father, period. So I had to learn the hard way. I learned from people in the streets. So then I said, okay, I'm not going to follow this, and I'll go toward this way right here, because this is going to land me. When I'm sitting in prison, seeing people from the Black Panthers that have been there from the 1970s, and it's the 1990s, and they say I'm never coming home. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not supposed to even meet you. What am I doing? So, and so you got to get into this awakening to say, like, nah, this is not it right here. Because what happens is we get into this culture of the political side too, and I know we don't want to get too political, is that we have to follow what my mother or her grandmother or her mother did. So that's why I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I know people don't like it, but I don't do Democratic at all, because I see how it folds out. Because I asked my mother, who's been a Democrat her whole life, we had a conversation today. I said, Mom, what have they ever done? She said, nothing. I said, so why follow somebody that's doing nothing? She said, because that's just the way I said, Mom, I'm not gonna do something just because that's the way. Because sometimes the way we did it, even the way we did it back in the 80s and 90s, didn't work right. So we had to change it up. So entrepreneurship, ownership, stuff like that. So if I can change it up like that, why don't we ask for something? She said, son, I'm not gonna lie, Black people don't ask for anything. They don't ask for nothing except an apology. I don't need an apology, because that's not gonna get us nowhere. We're not going to get a bill to stop this. We're not going to get a bill to give us that by apologies. Apologies, they can say I'm sorry all day. And say, how many of us have heard people apologize and did the same thing the next time around when they saw you? So we know apologies in this right now in this state of mind don't mean anything. So when they look at but me personally, I don't call myself black. I call, Niji. I always use the word Niji or carbonated or melanated or something like that, because legally, black stands nothing in the law. Legally, that's why we don't get nothing, because they say we don't legally have to give you anything. So yeah, it's gone.
I just did
one thing I want people to do. Give me 1 second. I want people to do when you have time. Look up the dinosaur that has the most teeth. But Ronnie, what's your thoughts on black culture and shit? Agree, disagree, or just in general? What's your thoughts?
I guess it's a little rough for me because a lot of stuff that black culture embraces, I was made fun of for not embracing. Reading, speaking properly, wanting to go to college, yada yada yada. But I think as a whole, our people, as well as Americans these days, but I think for us it's gotten a lot worse. We've become a very short-sighted people. And so we're more or less focused on fulfilling our impulses. And I see this as a teacher, because I'm also one of them people who's of the camp of we need to fix the family, because I think the environment is the way it is because everybody else got a family that is broken too. And a lot of the issues that we have could be fixed with family structure and guidance. But I think as a culture, we don't embrace the right things. Like I think we talked about it earlier, or I did an assignment with one of my classes because I have an African American studies class too. And when I asked the kids to give me 10 characteristics of Black America, all of it was very superficial. It was like food and clothes. And when they said style, all they talked about was hair. And it was, and then when family came up, it was sister, brother, mom, grandma, no older man involved. And for a lot of our kids, they've just gotten used to that. And a lot of people think it's normal. And a lot of the standard for people in raising their kids is, well, my kids are alive, so they must be fine. Well, now we have a collection of incomplete people because we talk about divine. I don't use these terms, but they talk about divine masculine energy and feminine energy and stuff, but the energies are all out of whack because the upbringings ain't there. You don't have, it's all, I hate to say, it's a lot of single moms, and it's throwing the balance off because dad is supposed to be there to level some of that out. And so you have kids who they're impulsive. I do a lot of stuff in the community. I'm a referee too. And I tell you, when I go into some of these neighborhoods and I referee these, let's say a football game or something, a lot of the kids are they're very impulsive. First of all, they're poor winners and very sore losers. Like they turn it up. If they're getting blown out, the team that's winning wants to get violent, wants to get in their face. And then the team that's losing wants to get violent all of a sudden. But outside of that, they pout and they cry very quickly. And when I look at that, I don't see very much good coming out of that, because now we have people who are 18 to 24, 25 now doing some of the craziest crimes you'd ever heard of from in my lifetime anyway, or it's happening more frequently. So, I mean, we embrace a lot of superficial stuff, but also embracing this, let me do what I want to do, Sodom and Gomorrah type lifestyle. It does not bode well for us. And I've had a hard time thinking about the things that we actually embrace that propel us forward, because a lot of us, along with this impulsive thinking, again, we're very short-sighted. I'm at an age now, I don't have kids or a wife, but I'm still thinking ahead of what do I want to leave my kids or my grandkids, or what do I want to leave the world behind that's going to make it better. But a lot of people don't think like that. They think how can I make this good now? And unfortunately for a lot of us, it's too late. They always talk about, brain getting fully developed at 28 or whatever. You hard to change right there. So you got to start working on the kids, but everybody's so wrapped up in themselves that they don't think about the kids. And this cycle just seems like it's going to continue like from here on out, and it's disheartening. But as a whole, I don't think our culture really. I won't say it's not shit. I just say we don't embrace the things we should.
Can I say something?
Yep. Now let me ask you, Coco, are you able to turn your phone sideways or no? Or it's gonna mess up what you're doing? If you can't, then it's okay.
Can you see me good, or is it?
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's perfect. That's perfect. Yep. Thank you, Rashawn. Yeah, you want to say something?
Oh yes. What I was about to say is a lot of things that we also need to take in consideration is that it's no offense to everybody parent, but the generation before us, they didn't do a good job. They did what they thought was best. I feel like we as parents now need to understand, like, we ain't our parents, we ain't our ancestors. Like some shit we folded on, we shouldn't be folding. Some things that we need to be more strict about, some things we need to teach. Like my mama didn't teach. My mama used to sell drugs, and all I seen her was spend money. The whole time she was saving, but she never talked about saving with me. She never talked about, progressing, even though she was progressing within herself. I don't know why. I can't say she was trying to be selfish because she took care of us graciously. So me becoming an adult, it was like I'm getting money, thinking that money gonna just keep falling out of trees as long as I work, and that's not how it goes. So to me, I feel like as parents, especially today's parents, because this generation of kids are the most richest, the most smartest, and the most dumbest at the same time. But this is the point where we have to actually be like, okay, the generation is bad, but where do it start from? It started way before them. It just like it manifested to what this was because of the generation before us. Because they looked at us like we was crazy growing up. And then the generation before that, at some point we were like, wait. We the problem. We really got to break this cycle. Like, what is we doing different and better compared to the last generation? Half the time we think we are, but we're not.
Let me also ask Ronnie, did you have to go or are you still going on the time?
I'll say this and I gotta hop off, but I'll finish with this. But I think it's funny that like our generation, like millennials and maybe a little younger or maybe a little older, are like the first generation to look their parents dead in the eye and just be like, "You fucked me up." Like no other generation does that, and it really makes me wonder where it came from. But I understand that they didn't teach the things that they were supposed to, because there was a status that went viral that was like, we're not going to be able to have Thanksgiving dinners anymore because nobody taught anybody how to cook Thanksgiving dinner. They was more worried about shielding us from the stove or whatever the case may be. So they had their experiences and they had their ideas with whatever they felt was right. I tend not to, maybe I don't know what it is, but I don't look at my parents like y'all did something wrong. I was like, I understand y'all shortcomings and I understand what you're trying to do, but now I just feel like it's up to me to not only help myself but help my future kids, just to improve the culture. But yeah, I got to get out of here. It was good talking to y'all. I will be networking and
all right, man.
Maybe revive my channel.
I just
no problem. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you. Roberta, you want to say something?
Yeah. Right. My parents had very good parents back in those days. But what happened was drugs came into play. And this is really why I put so much emphasis on the environment. Because regardless of whether you have good parents, that environment plays a very big factor. So we really have to pay attention. We really have to be conscious of the environment, because it can have a more of a hold on you than your parents can. So we got to fix the environment. That's all I want to say.
Yeah. Bishop, I know you already answered the question, but if you want to briefly speak on, I guess from a different perspective, Black culture ain't shit.
Well, man, I always go whenever talking the community, the culture, the home. We can sit in these echo chambers and talk about, what have we seen the last 30, 40 years? Oh, the white man, the white man, the white man, the white man. Somebody got their foot on my neck. But I think Coca said something profound. We are raising children who have access to more information and knowledge than any generation before could have ever imagined. I mean, they literally have the most powerful computers in their pockets, yet the only thing that we allow them to use them for is to listen to music, watch YouTube videos, and that's about it. I think we have to stop. Like, I've stopped telling my children that old narrative of, oh, because you're black, work twice as hard to get half as far. Because I realize that at some point that's telling your child you're just never going to be good enough. And I stand firm on the belief that there is no oppression. There is no oppressor. And if there is, he or she cannot stop me from getting what I want if I'm willing to work hard and make the necessary sacrifices and not quit till I achieve it. This is what I teach my children. And I think in our community, the biggest issue, I think, is this individualistic mindset. It's all about me. There is no collective thought. And yes, Roberto said this earlier, and he's right. You can go to other cultures and communities and countries, and you're going to see this amazing amount of violence. But what you will also see is the communities stick together. There is a collective mind that says, even though there's all this poverty and violence and whatever, we still take care of each other at the end of the day. And when you look at any community in the Black culture, it's all about me. Let me get mine. Let me get out of here. Let me do for me. And I get do for self, go out there, because the Bible even talks about when I was hungry, you fed me. You can't feed nobody until you got food for yourself. You can't clothe nobody until you got clothes on your own back. But at some point, once you fed yourself, clothed yourself, housed yourself, when do you say, okay, now let me go out here and try to help somebody else? Let us do for each other. Let us look out for each other. Let us hold each other accountable. Let's stop condoning and promoting the nonsense, and let us hold the people who are, like we talked about last night. Let's shun these people. Let's shame these people. Because if we don't do that, I don't care how much we talk. We can talk till we're blue in the face. Nothing will change.
That's true. So, Hank, the question is not you ain't shit. It's really about the Black culture ain't shit. What's your thoughts on that?
Damn. Hey, man. Another cultural shit we embrace is not going to the doctor, and that's mostly Black men, but just period. Not seeing a therapist. We used to down that shit. Oh, what's wrong with you? Crazy? Just because we said we're gonna get some therapy, and we still do it now. Now, 2022 is kind of, it's okay now. You're not looked down upon if you said, man, I had to go get some therapy. Not no more. But man, before 2021, 2020, you were still looked at, man, what's wrong with you? Crazy? You lose your mind? No, man, I just need some help. I need to talk to somebody. I need to get some shit up off my chest. But that was part of the trash culture that we embraced. We encouraged. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad, but it's just what it is. Now, as far as what everybody else was saying, man, it's a lot of things we just need to work on, need to do. I stay on my son all the time. The reason I even stayed with my ex-wife so long is because I didn't want that female energy influencing my son to turn my son into a daughter. Because that's not what I had. I had a son. So you need to act like a son. You need to carry yourself like a son, because you one day gonna become a man. So I all the time, man, look, I need you to go take out the trash. Oh, why I gotta take out the trash? I don't feel like. I'm not trying to. I said, who am I talking to? My daughter? I'm a son. That's not what we're doing here. We're not doing this. Why are you acting awfully emotional because you got to take the trash out? Let me tell you, at the end of the day, you still going to have to take the trash out. Ain't nothing going to change. So that time you wasted complaining, pouting, doing all that, some more time, less time, you could be doing something else, something you want to do. But you want to be emotional? Get all emotional right now. Get it all out right now. Because I ain't playing that shit. But we got to talk about that. We got to deal with it. We got to address that. Men need to be in our homes. So I'm like Roberta, man, find whatever way you have to be in your kid's life, do it. Don't come with no goddamn excuses. Talk about I can't stand my baby's mom. She get on my goddamn. So what? Who cares? Ain't got nothing to do with her. Because at the end of the day, that's your future right there. Now, with the daughters, you can have a little more leeway because they're going to learn how to be a woman from their mother. But your son is going to learn how to be a man from his mother. That's not going to work out well with. That's not going to end well for you. And you'd be mad if you only get 2 or 3 days of educating your son and influence your son and learning your son. That's not enough. So I stayed around long enough to make sure, okay, I got him to a good point where that I ain't got to be with him all the time, that he's good. I still got to tune him up a little bit, remind him, hey, man, that's not what we're doing. And he'll come home and share different things with me like, Daddy, they was at school fighting today. I said, what did you think about that? How did you feel about that? What do you think they could have done differently? What would you do if you was in that situation? So, men, we got to make sure we are involved so they don't be part of that statistic that we all don't want our sons or our kids, period, to be a part of. Now, I don't know, man. As far as our culture, we had years and years of opportunity to learn from other cultures, and one of the best teachers we probably should have used that we always shunned was our Jewish brothers and sisters. They had a good blueprint on what we should have followed, but we chose not to. Instead, we continue to want to do our own thing, and it's obvious that shit didn't work. Yet we kept on pushing it. Financial literacy. We should have been doing something, getting financial literacy courses and teaching that shit to our kids and learning from other people and bringing that shit back in our community and encouraging our schools to be teaching that. We talked about this last night. Yeah, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We all about, oh man, I'm just living check to check. That shit ain't cool. It's nothing sexy about living check to check. You don't have to do it. You have, like my man said, you have so much opportunity to learn and to better yourself. But yet we're too lazy. We don't want to do it. But I promise you this, when we want something else, we want to get that new car, that $60,000 car, pulling up into a goddamn apartment complex, we're going to do that. Instead of looking at, hey, man, how about looking at home ownership? How about doing something like that? Instead of pulling an $80,000 car into an apartment complex. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because I got a house on Section 8, and that's what they're doing over there. They got a big body Benz pulling to a Section 8 housing. What type of shit is that? But that's just what they do. Oh, we do. Let me say that because, god damn.
Now, I told you what to do with this Christmas coming up, right? Find a way to evict them on Christmas. On the kids, too. Find a way.
That's a whole different look. What I do is, in my 2 spots I got, one's on Section 8, one's not. Part of what I do is put their water bill inside their rent. You don't pay your rent, you don't pay your water bill. And if the water gets turned off, this shit's inhabitable. You got to get the fuck out. I don't give a damn about your goddamn kids. I don't give a damn if your grandmother on oxygen tanks in there. You got to go. Because at the end of the day, it's my money, and I got a house payment. I got kids I got to take care of. You understand what I'm saying? I got bills I got to pay. So I'm supposed to go without because you don't do right? I'm good.
Damn, what about the people, man? But listen, right? But E Black, I know you answered Ray, but you could probably touch it from a different perspective. Black culture ain't shit. I know you kind of disagree. You do disagree with that. What's your thoughts on it? Is there something good about Black culture? Because I can't find anything that is good about it.
Well, that's the thing. If you're making a statement that you can't find anything is good, then I'm pretty sure you're not a part of it. So why don't you try to put yourselves into places where Black culture is thriving?
I don't qualify to live in the projects anymore.
But that's the thing. Black culture has nothing to do with projects. I think that's the problem. I think sometimes, urbanization, people from big cities do not recognize that culture is not just the projects and NWA and that stuff. There's a lot of, like, if you go down south or if you go to country areas, you'll see black culture in your face. You'll see trail rides. Have you been to a trail ride?
No, I don't
Have
eat.
you?
I don't eat fried chicken like that.
I'm just saying, but have you? That's part of black culture. There are things that black people do in collective that is very positive for each other. You know, like, man, go to any graduation. What are we doing? We're cheering for each other. Man, every black student that come, white student come up, quiet. Black student come up, ah, because that's who we are. That's our culture.
That's actually sad, because I think they're doing that because of the fact that not that often a black person, a person from their family graduates. Like, wow, out of all millions of us, one graduated.
No, because we're a very loud and prideful people. That's why we do it. So, you know,
I disagree.
What?
No, not with you. With he just said, like,
don't listen to.
You don't believe in celebrating your people. If you can celebrate someone getting a job or a promotion, just imagine you celebrate kids. It's like when we come together and we go to the graduation, we want the kid to know, like, you did something. We proud that you did it. You know, like, make you feel good, because to them that's their current accomplishment is graduation. For me, I don't know about most families. I had a lot of people in my family graduate from high school. I didn't graduate from college, but I had a lot of people graduate from college. I had a lot of people graduate from, like, technical courses where they actually thriving in those positions. So I don't know.
I want you to really understand the dysfunction that us as blacks people we have, right? Or you people, whichever one you want to choose, right? White people don't celebrate like that because you're in college. You was graduating. If you're in college, graduating is what's normal. We're not shocked. Like, if you're in college, you were supposed to graduate. That's what we're paying for. So, but I know what
you're thinking of it.
Like, wow, that's very rare.
You're thinking of it. Hold on. You're thinking of it wrong, AR. Because if you go to, like, a boxing, or have you ever watched a boxing match overseas, like in Asia, they're quiet.
Mm-hmm.
If you come to America, American people, we cheer. We're loud. So
I know
you're assuming that we're doing it because, oh, Lil Ray made it and we did it. No, it's not that. It's that we are a prideful people, and we love to be prideful and loud and to express ourselves. That's who we are as black people.
Well, black, we only do it on certain things, man. I mean, I done seen my man Byron Island. He's trying to do something for the black community, and they shunned him and don't want his money because they are married to a white woman. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, that is.
They shunned him. They made him feel bad or feel a certain way because he's dating a white woman or married to a white woman. I don't mean to disrespect it. He's married to a white woman. Who gives a shit what he's married to? And if he wants to do something to help us, man, we ought to embrace that shit. Instead, you do just the opposite. I want that coon's money. Come on, man, really?
Well, some of us pies, how you doing? Appreciate you coming on here. When I say you people, do I identify as black? Not quite sure what you mean by that, because we're talking about some really negative shit. Like I said, black culture ain't shit. I don't identify as that, black culture ain't shit. So black is very, now black identify black. You see how black that motherfucker is?
Yeah, I'm black.
But no, just so you know, Coco, this is your first time on here. I listen. I support E-Black. I rock out with E-Black and Hank. I troll a little bit with them. So that's all it is. Just a little back and forth, but it's definitely nothing personal. I'm always gonna make fun of his skin color. But I've never seen that shit before, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm just going off of what you're saying. I just, I don't know. When I listen to y'all, I'm listening in, I'm taking it in, y'all point of view. I've never been on a platform or like this or sat and talk between just men. So it's normally like a mixed collaboration. So I really don't know y'all yet to know how y'all troll, hypothetically. But yeah.
I mean, that's why if you see, like, I'm not trolling Bishop Heavy Gan or Rasun, because this is the first time I've dealt with them, or second time I dealt with them. So certain comments and jokes I make, they probably be like, "Nigga, don't play with me." So I play a little bit safe in that sense. And once they on a few times, then I'm like, if I know exactly what kind of bothers you, then I'm gonna be poking at it. But E Black, he don't pay me no fucking mind.
But you know what? I'm agree with Hank, right? Because when I was in the streets with all the gang stuff, all the criminology, everything, I was super acceptable. When I got locked behind a cage and I couldn't get out until I was allowed to get out, I said, wait a minute. This is not what's up. So when I decided, this is how bad that culture is. When I decided to lay down the gun and pick up the book, I was ridiculed because I knew the law, I knew history, I knew American history, ancient history, other cultures' history. I started talking to other cultures. So when I said, hey, take that hustling mentality and make it legal, if it wasn't for my violent past, I would have been the next bullying victim right up there. Even though I've helped people, because I used to work in group homes. So I helped the kids stop going to prison. They got jobs, houses, cars. You know what they said? Yeah, I would tell him to shut up, but he might beat us up because it's bad that in our culture we have to mix in violence with a straight narrow. So I have to use my past of don't play with me or this will happen for us to listen. See, and so I kind of understand when saying like he said like, oh, he married a wife, so he's with the other side now. What? Hold on, time out. Every platform we use, every pair of clothing, all the land, all the cars, all that is not ours. What are you talking about? But he's saying that he's trying to get you to go a different way instead of the hook way. Because trust me, if no one ever been to prison, they don't want to go there. It has nothing to do with the violence. Put it like this. I did 12 years. I was bored for 11 and a half years. So just imagine wasting 11 and a half years of your life as a teenager, not as an adult. I was a teenager. I said, how am I going to make this through? How? I had to learn the law. And the good thing about it is the actual gang members say learn the law and get out. But in the streets, you're corny, you're a nerd. So you see like the AR, you see my videos, I'm all aggressive and but that right there is why people listen. Because I have to be aggressive. Why do I have to be aggressive to listen? It's not like I'm telling you a lie. So if I just sat there with my glasses on and I say, hey, let's talk about a few things. Oh, yeah, I don't want to listen to that. Get up out of here. But yo, what y'all talking about? Now everybody want to listen because I'm taking my aggression and making sense and telling you how to look it up or how we need to progress. Because I feel him with that. I feel him when he said that. I'm like, yo, I know how that feels. And it's like, so I can't be corny. Sometimes I wish I was corny because I wouldn't have got into so much trouble. And it's bad because like I said, like we can't be corny. Because like I was telling somebody the other day, it's almost like we can't forgive. Because if a man forgives, we get ridiculed for it. But some of us who don't get ridiculed for it is because they know the past. Now, if I didn't have a past, I'd be ridiculed, be quiet, you beta, get out of here, you don't know what you're talking about. That's the reason. And I'm like, but yeah, I'm trying to help y'all not go through the same thing I went through. I'm trying to help you see and the good thing about it, like I said, like, because of my voice, it'd be scratchy, DMX, pot smoke and all that. So the gang members was like, yo, you mad cool, like, word, like, and then I'm working out, so they see the muscles, they see me shadow boxing outside. So in their mind, they're thinking, yeah, that's an opponent first, not someone we can listen to first. It's the opponent first. Okay, I might not be able to beat him. Now let me listen to what he's talking about. What happened? They got jobs, they got cars, they off the streets, they don't be hanging out on the block no more. They see me, they call me the OG on the street and all that. And they see me going to work. I got button-up shirts on, you know what I'm saying, slacks on. And then I'm telling them to do certain things, exercise, get you later. And you know me, I'm plant-based. I don't eat no animal byproducts, none of that. You know, I've been drinking my kabachi and all that. So they like, oh snap, he's different. He's hood but different. So I agree with what he's saying.
Let me Heavy Gant, what do you think about, right? We're gonna shift the topic a little bit and get right back into that, because after this, I do want to know about, okay, can we change this community? You know, can we make it better? Is it possible? And what exact steps can we take to make it better, right? But let's go off a little bit, Gant. Are we naturally supposed to be connected to so many people? You know, as due to social media, there's a world out there, but social media is relatively new with this civilization, and we know that naturally we wasn't supposed to be in communication with all these people. But do you think that we're naturally supposed to be?
Hey, bro, and I appreciate y'all having me on, man. I'm gonna have to bounce here in a second, but just to answer your question, no, we're not supposed to be able to communicate. We should have like small tribes, you know what I mean? Like that's how human beings are supposed to communicate within your small tribes. You're not supposed to be able to communicate with thousands of people on a video. So I don't think so. But I think that like in order just to jump a little further ahead to actually fix and improve things, you would fix things and make sure the people that you can touch are okay. Make sure the people you can touch, like if there are children that you can help mentor or whatever the case is, if that person is within your reach, if there are older people that, you know, maybe your age, but maybe he needs a little bit of guidance or what have you, you would try to give of yourself to those people that, you know, that want that. And I think that, like, you know, we think a little bit too big, and maybe we should think smaller with the people around us in our direct vicinity.
No, I appreciate that, man. Now you do have a YouTube channel. Do you want to speak on that real briefly?
Oh,
Let
no,
people
man.
know.
Yeah, Heavy Gant's the channel. It's just my name, and y'all can check it out. You know what I mean? If y'all got any channels or whatever, man, like please inbox me. Let me know. I want to follow y'all. See what y'all about.
Yeah, we're all in the same group together on Instagram, right? So y'all should be following, subscribing, supporting each other and so forth. But man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Hey, I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all have a good one, okay?
All right, you too.
All right, thank you.
Now, Coco, because you're the only female, I want to make sure you're not always the last person to go. So what do you think, right? Are we naturally supposed to be connected to so many people, you know, due to social media?
You can. I feel like you could be. It could be a good thing. But I also could think that it could be it could be pointless. It's like having 100,000 followers and only 30 interactions. I feel like he said, if it's a tribe, like hypothetically, we on the YouTube, people that actually want to listen to certain things we talk about, it's better to deal with people that's either like-minded or want to learn or want to more understanding to what we talk about versus just having people on your page. Because sometimes you just got people that don't care what the conversation about. They will look and then scroll up. It's not of interest to them. Like when people tell you like follow me. Some people follow. They really don't care what's behind the follow. They just care that you just told them, okay, I'm gonna do it and just keep it going. So I feel like when it comes to social media, most people now it's about a rank scale, like who got the most followers or who get the most likes. I would just rather, if you're gonna follow me, you like what content I'm putting out, you interested, you're gonna interact with me. I don't have that many followers, but I recently unfollowed a lot of people because I had to, check myself. Like, I don't care what they're talking about, I don't care what they got on their page, they don't interest me, so why am I following them? I don't like none, I don't interact with them, so let me remove them. And then eventually whoever don't like if I'm following them, it won't be a follow for follow. It'll be like, I really don't care what she's talking about, or I do like what she's talking about, let me share what she talking about.
No, absolutely. Do you think,
I
Coco?
agree. Go ahead.
Yeah. Do you think, Coco, that to be able to interact with a million people in a day, due to social media, is that affecting us? Because that's not. I don't believe that's normal. Well, obviously, this technology is not natural. But do you think that's affecting us? Us having the ability to communicate with people in other countries and stuff.
Yeah, some people can be one way, and then in reality they not. It's easy to be more or tougher or more sexualized on the internet now. It's so accessible too. It is not even. It's people are more comfortable in person than comfortable on social media than in person. I didn't have people in general. They'll see you on social media and then they'll like and they'll talk, but then you go in person and it's like you walking sideways to get past because you be like, I want to act like I know. And to me, as a person in general, when stuff happen like that, it's like you kind of just gotta roll with it. You let people flow how they want to flow, but that people just do that. I don't know. Social media get people comfortable to do a lot of stuff. It could be a good thing though. It's not always negative because it could be a breakout. For me, it could be more of a breakout. It depends on how you look at it. Is you using it to navigate on a positive and a more higher level, or are you just using it for no reason, just for fun? After a while, you gotta have some type of balance.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Roberto. Man, what do you think, man? Are we naturally supposed to be connected to so many people? We can communicate with people. I mean, right now we're on this panel. Right now, I've never met none of y'all. But what's your thoughts on that?
I don't think we naturally supposed to, but if we are, we're gonna have to be a little more open to the differences that we have. This is why the cancel culture is thriving right now, because we have too many people having a problem with the way everybody thinks, and we need to be more open. And I think a lot of people are just too sensitive now. Um, we just really have to be open, understand why people are the way that they are, and kind of just move through life a little more cordial. You know what I'm saying? There's no need for us to be getting online and threatening people and doing this and that. It's just doing too much. So we just have to learn to be more open. But naturally, I don't think we're supposed to be this way. That's why the world is the way it is now. So this is just a new thing. So we have to adapt to it.
Yeah. So, Rasan, I was thinking about this. I don't know why this came to me. I was thinking about it. I was just like, man, it's just weird how we're able to. Because growing up, we couldn't do that, right? So
Right.
now it's just like we're able to just communicate with so many people. So,
Right.
like, if I had to communicate with you directly, it'll probably take me a long time to be able to get. Well, we'll never get together and do like a panel podcast,
Right.
right? So, what's your thoughts on this? Are we naturally supposed to be connected to so many people? And what's your thoughts on that?
Well, me personally, I think we were supposed to be naturally connected to so many people, because the way that society is structured throughout the whole world, it restricts us from seeing certain things. For instance, back in the days, if you thought about Ethiopia, we thought all Ethiopians were starving. Or like you say from who said it is from Houston? And we don't know what's in Houston, or we don't know what's in California. We from New York, so we know what's in New York. So if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't know what's going on in the world right now as we know it, because pre-social media, we just ran with the regular narrative. Social media was important because back then, we used to travel lands, migrate, and we was immigrants, like with the E. So we used to be going other places. They restricted us from traveling. They'll tell you, "Oh, it's bad out here. It's bad out here." But we did that in ancestral. So I view social media was a platform created by accident, because had they not created it, we still would be blinded to everything else that's going places. That's why some of us, especially from New York, what do? Now, New Yorkers, we like going everywhere because we like, wait a minute, that's not what I was told about out there. Well, we want to go to Texas, Florida, other countries. You want to get passports. I mean, think about it. We never even thought about a passport until social media was showing people flying, going over here. And then we started introducing to other cultures, and we was like, wait a minute. That's not what I was told. That's not what I was shown. We wasn't really shown anything. We were just showing the bad things of everywhere. We thought that if we went to any country, it was over for us because that's what we were told. But we're supposed to be able to reach out and see. That's how you grow, to go over here to do this or go over there and do that. We only had connections where our family was from. Oh, my family's from North Carolina, so I'm gonna go to that same plot in North Carolina. Where now I might go to Chicago, or I might go to California, or I might take a plane to Africa to Nigeria or something. I might go to somewhere in the Caribbean island that nobody else goes to. I believe that social media definitely, I feel that we definitely supposed to be reaching out and introducing to other people and introducing ourselves to other ways of living. Because if there was no social media, like you said, we wouldn't be talking right now. And I probably would have never ever met any of y'all ever in my life. We wouldn't have known half of the people. And of course, you're gonna have the bad apples to mess it up. You got the people that's gonna be keyboard thugs and people who's gonna be spreading this or spreading that. But once you fan through all that other stuff like that, it's like, oh snap, I didn't know that was going on over there. Like, we both from New York, me and you, AR, but I'm in North Carolina and you in New York. You can tell me things that's happening in New York, and I can tell you things that's happening in North Carolina that coincide. Houston, Chicago, it doesn't matter where we at. We can actually tell people, nah, that's not what happened. This was happening right now. So the communication became digital. So now, from the digital side, you can say that's the introduction. I'm gonna take a trip out there now. Before, you had to know somebody to get out there. Now we can make the trips. We can cut the time now. So I believe, it's good.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is I think relationship worked out a lot better, not a lot better, but better before, because people dated within what they qualify for, which was within their community. But now due to social media, people are seeing that, people in California, you're seeing all these things you don't qualify for. Sir, you don't work. You don't qualify, bro.
Right, but that's like a job, though. Think about it. If you go for a job, like, even if if I didn't go to law school, I'm not going to try to be a paralegal. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a people's like, oh, I like her, or she's like, I like him, but deep down, you're not built for that. Get your way first.
But not just that, but also we don't know that. Like, if you're dating people that you never been, they're not even in your community. They're not even in your environment. You're nothing alike. You're nothing. That does work for people, but I think for the most part, a lot of relationships don't work out because y'all can't. There's nothing. Y'all missing pieces.
Right. No, it is missing pieces. It's a gamble. You rolling the dice. Boom. You shooting the dice. But that's like in the streets too. Somebody can tell. See me. I look at social media like this, right? If you want to know how somebody is, you can tell, as cognizant as we are, you can tell when somebody is bluffing or they telling the truth. Especially when every picture you're having fun. Who has fun on everything they do? No one has fun on everything. You're lying. So now I don't believe you. And sometimes I'll be looking rough. I got my nerdy glasses on. Sometimes I'm working out. I'm out of breath. And then sometimes I just say, okay, you showing the personality side. But you got people who got good pictures on every picture they take. They're not telling the truth. You know this. I'm looking rough right now. I just went grocery shopping and all that. I tried to hurry up and get back here, scrambling. Had to wipe some sweat off real quick because it's like 90-something degrees outside. But and it's just like in the streets. You can meet somebody for the first time and they'll put this front in front of you whenever they see you. And then they'll clean their house before you get there. They'll send the kids off to grandma's house so they can't show you how out of control they really are. And they'll put on their Sunday's best. It's up to you as the individual to determine from what they say, how they act. I mean, we don't test people no more. We don't test them out. We just take everything for face value. Everything. Oh, I'm 6'2". Okay. You don't even, what? What what happened to walk by that counter right there? You're not 6'2", but I know an average count is this high. We don't even do that no more. We just take everything from face value, but they can do it in your face or on social media. It's just determined. It's up to you what you're going to do with that person when you meet them in real life, or you meet them on social media. But sometimes that social media dating thing is not what's up right there. Don't no. Sometimes it's just not.
So, Coca, I invited Miss Mo in here so you won't feel like you're the only female in here. Miss Mo, how are you?
What's up, AR? Shout out to the panel.
Hey, Miss Mo.
Hi.
Hey, Miss Mo.
Hey.
So, Coca, Miss Mo's another person I definitely troll hard. I definitely do. She has a lot of patience. Sometimes she loses it, but for the most part, she's very patient with me. How you doing, Miss Mo?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
I'm doing well.
Glad to hear that. I'm glad you can. I know you can't stay long, so I'll try to get to you in a moment. Bishop, man, what do you think about? Are we naturally supposed to be connected to so many people due to social media?
Well, I think social media is bipolar. And if you don't have a strong mental constitution, it'll make you bipolar. Because just take a moment to scroll any of the major sites. You can go in one moment exuberant, happy, man, this is amazing, great, and then the next post I have you ready to cry out, and then the next one out there after that I have you hating your next door neighbor, right? So I think social media in its current construct, it's a gift and a curse. It's got its pros, it's got its cons. I think from a societal standpoint, I think it has possibly done more damage than good as of now from what we can ascertain. And my favorite thing people say is, oh, well, you just got to know how to use it, because if you use it right, you can make money off of it. But let's be honest. The people who really making money off social media, major corporations, and maybe 5% of users. Let's keep it a buck, right? And I think something Rasoon said, I think it's given a lot of people who really aren't doing anything in life, it's giving them a platform to stunt, to front, to put on a facade. I've never met rich, got it all together, perfect people in my life. I've never met so many phony dudes who getting all the play and they telling women, yeah, you my wife, but I got women on the side and you're going to accept it. And that's just how men. I have never met so many fake dudes who complain about fake women in my life ever. And I think when you look at community, real community, you're able to hold the people around you accountable. You're able to call people out on their bullshit. But online, you got to take it for face value, because if I call you out on your bullshit, I don't know if you lying to me or telling me the truth. I don't know you for real. So I think it's giving a lot of lame. I'm gonna say this, and I don't mean no disrespect. It's giving a lot of lame niggas power to be tough guys and Mr. Wonderfuls. It's turned a lot of Steve Urkels and the stuff, and it's turned a lot of women who really ain't on their square and ain't on their business. It's let them, really become the object of men's appeal or eye, because they've got the physical attributes that men want, but they have absolutely nothing else to provide other than the physical look. That's it. And I think it's done us all a disservice. And I think if we don't get it together at some point and really revamp it, I think it's going to continue, taking us on a downward spiral that we're going to look up one day and it's going to be Red Dawn Part 2, but instead of the Russians, it's going to be the Chinese. And there is nothing we're going to be able to do about it.
Red Dawn. I remember them movies.
I mean, it's just the facts, man. It's just the
But
facts.
let me get to E Black. E Black, what up, man? Appreciate you. You're a busy guy. I know you're building your platform and you have other stuff to do, but you're here with me. So I do appreciate that. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts on us just being connected to so many people, and do you believe that's affecting us?
Hold on, before you start real quick, I'm gonna have to spin off real fast.
Okay.
I get ready for work in the AM. I
Hey,
get up at
listen,
5:30 to get that weight in.
Hey, man, listen, man, I highly appreciate it. If you could make sure you subscribe, share out, and
Definitely.
I know I watched your video. You're not doing Instagram no more, right?
No, I don't do Instagram no more. You know, Mark Zuck. I don't want to say his name.
Got
He be blocking me crazy. So I had to go on the other side, to the other side of the
TikTok.
globe, and went to TikTok. That's the other side. I call it the other side of the globe because you know who owns it. We can't
Yeah.
say too much things on the tube and all that.
Yeah, man.
But
I appreciate you coming out, man.
Anytime, let me know. I'm up here. We in there.
Absolutely, brother. All right, take care. Thank you.
I appreciate meeting all y'all.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye.
So E Black, tell me, man, what's your thoughts?
I think first, I do think we're supposed to be connected. You look at, we talk about the tribe, but let's be honest, most people are naturally congregate around each other. That's why we have cities. That's why let's be honest. New York is one of the largest population cities in the globe. There's Houston, another 4 million right there. Like, we congregate around each other. We like to be connected to each other. We like to share our experiences with each other. This is something that's naturally humans have done since the beginning of time, is to congregate amongst each other, build a society, build a culture, and share like-minded ideas. So, I do believe we are supposed to be connected. I do believe that there is a byproduct of being connected, like schizophrenia, ADHD. A lot of things do affect us by having electronical connections. However, it's completely normal to, come on now. How many if we weren't supposed to be connected, then we wouldn't send our kids to school with 3,000 other kids. It's like let's just be honest about that situation. We're supposed to connect. We're supposed to learn together. We're supposed to teach each other. We're supposed to exchange information and culture across each other. So that's why we do what we do. In terms of, is it naturally a thing in which social media has bred a certain aspect? I had this discussion the other day with some people. I'm like, okay, when you have to understand the idea of a channel. A channel is a peek hole into a common idea or a common group. So I'm on AR's stream because I have a common goal, a common idea, very limited with AR. I might go to Hinks because he has a certain perspective. I might go to Coco because she has a certain perspective. That is the nature of a channel, because a channel is a peek hole into something that we all find something in common within ourselves. I will give Coco props because I had to do the cleanse too. I had to delete a lot of Instagram females. Like, it got too much, and I just was following them just for the sake of following them. But then I realized how much negative it was, like, putting in, like, just looking down my timeline. I have a cleaner timeline now, and I feel much better about my timeline, because I do realize that being connected to certain people on social media has a negative effect on me. Like, the world stars or the wannabe world stars, the fight channels where it's just, they show nothing but black people fighting in the mall or something. I had to delete that stuff because I recognized that I did not want that to be a part of my life, or desensitizing me. And sometimes if you ingest too much information, you start to actually believe it, and you start to regurgitate it too. So that's why I don't follow a lot of conservative stuff, because then I start thinking conservative ideas, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't even make sense. This shit cap. It's like I like to ingest what makes me feel good. So,
what also makes you feel good? There's now, all of these. Like, today's topic is about civil rights activists, right? That they're named after a street, boulevard, avenue, and it's a Democrat. It's all Democratic, and it's extreme. Democratic cities are extremely violent. Conservative Republicans don't have increased number of violence. Even Republican blacks are very calm and not causing as much chaos as a Democratic.
I disagree.
No, no, no.
You have to understand the nature of congregation. Most democratic cities are the largest populous cities. Now, if you want to take, say, for instance, Fort Worth, which is respectively Republican, they're very dangerous too. Miami, we can go down the line. So I think
we know a lot of people travel in and out of Miami.
Oh God, excuses.
But
Look, I get it.
But
I get
it. But I just, yeah. I mean, if you like to continue to vote that way, you have. I mean, that's your right. I get it. But I do want people like Coca, since the first time she's here, to understand that even before E Black came on here, he already knew he does not agree with me. He knows off the rip most of the things I say, believe the topic, the talking with the thumbnail, he does not agree on. But what's very important is that he still came on, and I go to his show, and we can still, as men, communicate as an adult. Are you like, you agree with that, or?
Yeah.
Okay, I think you still got beef. I'm like, come on, motherfucker.
No. I think the most important thing is to not allow yourself to get caught up in an echo chamber. Learn a couple of things. Also, I have a lot of points that I love to present to people that they may not be thinking. The one thing that I recognized on the internet is how limited people are in terms of how they think. As many people are in the internet, you would believe, like, people would love to be biased. Like, they just love confirmation bias. I like to go on this girl's channel because she talks about black men, and that's just as limited as they're gonna get. And then when they go onto other people's channels, they say, oh, well, I don't like it because they give black men too much props. Well, that's because you're not really trying to learn. You just want to have confirmation. So that's why, I try to go on different people's channels to where, hey, if I have a point that you don't like, let's have it. But some people don't like that. Some people like to say, hey, I believe in Donald Trump, and I only want to hang on Donald Trump supporter channels. And that's fine.
But then where's the growth, like you were saying, right? Like, where's
the growth?
But God bless
growth
you,
only comes.
God bless you, Donald Trump. I know you was sent from Jesus. There's no way. Listen, there's no way God made Donald Trump, and there's no way. God bless you. Everything you've done, man. God bless you. Love Donald Trump, right? But Ms. Mo, right? Are we naturally? What's your thought process on just we're able to learn about other cultures before we actually learn about our own as Black, as people? But we're just able to connect with so many people on the internet. Technology is not a normal thing, right? It's something that man created, so it's not natural. But what's your thoughts on just us being able to communicate and connect with people all over?
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Miss Coco and Mr. Bishop. So social media, social media, it's crazy, that we have so much of it in so many different ways. And like Miss Coco said, it can be a good thing because it does allow you to to communicate with a lot of people, in a lot of different cultures, and just different rooms and different channels and all of that. Because if it wasn't for social media, of course, you would not even be coming in contact with anybody, especially when they live far away. You wouldn't ever come in contact with anyone. If you get a passport, you go, you visit, okay. But on the regular, to be able to communicate with people that are, let's keep it positive. That's the only thing. And I agree with Mr. Bishop. The internet is bipolar. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to have a thick skin, And it is just social media. It is just the internet. Those things don't, I mean, they could break you, but that is what it is. And I agree with the other gentleman. You're not, you may see people posting pictures and all that stuff, and they're always happy, and they, putting on the front and putting on the airs. None of us are always happy. Even the most positive person, and you never, hear them talking negative, and you never really see them in a bad mood or whatever. They have their days. Come on, they have to. They need help just as much as the next person, But I think social media can be a great thing when used properly. When it's not used properly, then you got problems. And it's a good thing as far as being able to keep in touch with people that maybe you don't necessarily call on the telephone. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we have family like that. Like, yeah, I really don't want to talk to her over the phone, but I'll hit them up on, Facebook or TikTok or, Instagram. I mean, that can be a bad thing too. I mean, we need to keep it old school. Pick up the phone, call me up, especially if you have a problem. Don't go airing your dirty laundry out on social media. That's one thing that I cannot stand. You're immature for it, you're not grown up, you know. So, I mean, social media, of course, is a beast within itself, you know. And I agree with Mr. E. Black. I did a purge as far as who I follow. I got rid of a lot of people. And going forward, I don't follow people just for the sake of them following me. You know what I mean? I I don't do that. I look to see what they're about or whatever. Because if they're about doing certain things, yeah, okay, yep, that's interesting. That's positive. But I don't follow everyone that follows me. I thank everyone that follows me, but everyone doesn't get a follow back, you know. But yeah, and it can also be a bad thing. Just like anything else. It could be a bad thing. I forget who said it. On one what is it? Scroll. On one scroll, you can see a happy picture, somebody whatever. Keep scrolling, they got you hating America. Keep scrolling, they got you hating Japanese people. You keep scrolling. Oh yeah, okay, I'm happy. I love pets. It'll play a mind trip on you if you let it, and if you're not strong enough to get past all that trash. Because there's a lot of trash on social media.
What's your thoughts when you scroll and come across one of my ratchet posts? What's your thought on that, Miss Mo?
Come on now. Really? I look at it. Of course,
Do you
I
get
look at it
tempted to unfollow?
I'm subscribed. I follow him on Instagram, all that stuff. I look. It's like,
Do you ever feel tempted to unfollow?
you know, I do not, because I don't want to act like, oh yeah, we hang and we buddies and we on the, we go out for coffee.
Yeah.
No, it ain't like that. I know you just like you know me through social media, through looking at your channels, all that kind of stuff. But no, it doesn't. I never have the thought of unfollowing you. No, because I know how you are. Your bark is not, you got a big old bark, AR, and everybody know it.
Oh, yeah.
So,
But listen, Hank, right? What do you think about just? I know you have teenagers. What do you think about just them being able to be connected to the world, their cultures, what they're doing, what people are doing, and right, wrong, up, down. I know a lot of people think they know the law because they look at YouTubers and shit like that, you know. But just what's your thoughts in general?
Well, I mean, for my son, it's been beneficial. You know, it's he plays basketball, so it's helping him as far as recruiting and people seeing film and talking to coaches and interacting with coaches. You know, old school way, you had to send the old VHS tape to somebody and hope they get it, and that's why I told him that's what I had to do. You know, hope my basketball coaches would send out my VHS tape to all these Pacific coaches that was interested in me. I said, but now that's not even the case. Coaches don't have to be in the same building as you and watching your games. They could just pull up something on social media or go into a certain website and getting your whole game or highlights, whatever they choose to do. So it's been beneficial, I guess. Depends on, you know, the person. You know, it's been beneficial for me as far as networking and learning different things and picking up little stuff here and there. So, but I guess like my man said, depends on what you're looking for and what you're trying to get out of it. Now, unfortunately, there's a dark side to everything, I guess, and some people has been using it for things they probably shouldn't have in negative ways, and probably I'm sure it probably broke up some relationships or families or households or whatever the case may be. Um, you know, but it depends, you know. But like I said, my son has benefited from it. I've benefited from it, so I see nothing but the positive side of it. But I know there is a negative, and I try not to involve myself too much with that. You know, unfortunately, I'm still following AR. I'm trying to figure out why, but I am.
It's good entertainment.
Okay, yeah, there you are. There you
He
are.
like looks stressed. He's like, I can't deal with him. Listen, my mom and my wife goes through worse. I stress the shit out of my wife. Okay,
I bet you do.
I sure
I know
do.
that's right.
Pray for her. Shit.
We need to pray for you.
So this is the last question, right? What do y'all think? What are some of the exact steps or a first step? I believe Hank was on one of my other panels. We was talking about that. What's that exact step you think we could take to change the culture, Roberto?
Well, since our biggest influence is music and entertainment, we got to start there. We're gonna have to do it there because that seems to have the most influence on us. Two, it's gonna take everybody. We it's not gonna take a leader. It's gonna take everybody. We have to change our mindset. Our mindset have to be our priority. Morals is gonna start to have to become a priority, and everything will just pretty much get better as that go. So, quick answer: nothing too deep. It's simple. Just need to be put in process.
All right, I appreciate that. So, Coco Monroe, what do you think? What are some exact steps or a step that we can start with changing the culture? If you was in charge, what would be the first thing?
Ooh, y'all probably gonna like my answer. Honestly, I feel like we need to revolt against all the other cultures. I don't believe in I feel like our culture have been tampered with since the moment we decided to not go about being original more as a people, wanted to be included with everything whites wanted to do. I know some people probably be like, nah, but I feel like we never really appreciated just being us. We wanted to get out our own slums and ditch so long of how being mistreated that the moment that we was ahead, I feel like we conform to them. They needed us. I feel like we need to know how powerful and how important we are. I don't agree with none of the government. I don't agree with how our culture is going. Like it's not even about like getting your body done or being on social media too much or just the entertainment. I feel like we really need to know our history. So to start with that, we would have to literally go back and understand our history, not just like, oh, let's talk about Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, as if that is the start of a lot of our bullshit. No, like we have to go way back. I feel like we have to learn ourselves before we can actually say this is our culture.
All right, I appreciate that, Ms. Mo. What do you think? What are some exact steps do you think we can change to change a culture or your culture,
I mean,
you people culture?
anything else, AR? I mean, really, Jesus, what are you? What are you? So I know you just saying stuff just to say it, just to get a rise out of people. I know you. Um, I mean, nothing difficult, nothing extravagant. I mean, I know one thing. We have to learn how to agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. That's one big thing that I'm quite sure everybody on the panel has seen and have experienced. We have to agree to disagree. Now, you know, especially with the kids, the children, especially with kids, it's like these days you really can't say anything to somebody's children or even to the parents. You know what I mean? You could see a child doing something wrong or whatever, and you know, you try to approach it tactfully because you know how some parents can be. Some parents can be, grateful. Oh, okay, thank you. I'm sorry. She didn't mean it or he didn't mean it. Thank you for letting me know. But then on the other hand, we don't have the village anymore. The village has uprooted and left. It's not like back in the day. And it all starts from home. It all starts at home, you know. But when we don't have that, it starts from home. Who knows? Because that's part of the problem too. That is part of the problem. And I pose that as a general thing. That's part of the problem all throughout. And I'm not just talking about our people. You know what I mean? So, because people have a tendency to try to make everything about I'm black. Oh, you did this because I'm black. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all. It's because a lot of people are just so quick to jump on the bandwagon if they see certain videos. And I'm not even going to go into that. I'm quite sure you guys can read through the lines. Everybody's so quick to jump on. Oh, well, no, 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 no. But no, I need to see the whole video. The stuff get cropped and cut out and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, no, I need to see the rest of the video. So, or the entire interview or whatever it is. But it all starts at home. We need to agree to disagree and, be able to rely on and lean on each other. You know what I mean? Because that could be an issue too. Everybody doesn't, not everyone. Some people do not welcome that, talking to each other, sharing ideas, even walking down the street speaking, hey, how are you? How are you today? Some people get an attitude and they don't know how to accept that. They don't know what to do with that. It's like, I don't know you, what you talking to me for? You know what I mean? Be nice, be kind. That's a thing in itself. People can't do it. It's hard for some people to just be kind. All right, I'm off my soapbox.
Well, one thing I want to say about that, like I'm in New York City, right? And kindness is a weakness, meaning that A lot of people over here, when they say good morning to you, your response of good morning, showing kindness, okay, you're easy to rob, right? Um, so it's messed up as it is. I'm a motherfucker, right? Within the with me being in New York, I'm pretty sure when I travel, it's a little bit different when I visit family and so forth. But unfortunately, some areas you just can't because of your environment. People look at you like you're an easy target or you're a sucker because
So
you're
if I
showing this
walk,
kind of
so
kindness.
if I walk by you and you say good morning to me, and I say,
I
hey,
won't.
how are you?
I won't
So
say good
I'm
morning to you.
easy to rob if you're coming one way and I'm going the other way walking, I'm easy to rob.
Yeah.
How would you rob me if I'm walking past you? Not close. I'm talking
Mhm.
distance. How would I get robbed from you?
Because when you keep walking past,
That ain't enough.
you got to understand that there's these people where their daily job is to rob people.
I understand that.
The scam. They see an elderly person and they act like they're helping them with their groceries, and the elderly person's kind of confused. And let me bring this
Mhm.
up in your house. And they get in the house and you hear all the time they fucking them up, taking all their shit.
That I understand, but I
They
mean,
but this is what they're looking
That's
for.
that New York shit. That's that New York shit. Because you try that shit here in Texas, you run up in somebody's crib, you getting lit the fuck up. This, hey,
Well,
don't
Texas is open carry pretty much, right? It's open carry.
base pretty much
They
almost at that point. It's almost there, yeah.
Yeah, here
Yeah.
we don't trust people. We don't trust people like that here.
in New York City, which is so crazy, you're not allowed to carry. The only people that's carrying is criminals in New York City. So, but Bishop, what's your thoughts, man? What are some of you? And we're gonna. This is the last question. Coco, Miss Mo, can you hang out after, or y'all gotta go? It's like 10 more minutes after, or
Oh,
gotta go. You gotta go.
okay.
No.
I'll give
Okay.
you 10 more minutes.
Okay. Bishop. So,
I
what do you
don't
think,
know.
man?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence. I might have to be out.
Come on, AR, you gotta beg better than that. You gotta beg.
Yeah, man.
He ain't
Come
got to
on, man.
beg me because that don't work. If I got to go, I got to go. Ain't no begging.
I hear you. I hear you. But Bishop, what's your thoughts? Right? What are some exact steps or a step? What's the first step to change a culture?
First step is detaching ourselves from our on the Democratic Party. That's the number one step. I think when we take ourselves away from a party that has done nothing for us for 50 years and give us empty promises, then we'll start seeing, because what happens is we can leverage our voter capital to demand from those who really make the decisions on the local level and the national level that impact our day-to-day life. That's the first step, right? Instead of them knowing no matter what they're gonna get our vote, they have no incentive to do anything to pass any legislation that is going to help create change within the community. And then number two, start creating change in the community. Start creating change in a home. Start creating change on the block, in the churches, in the community centers, right? We have to consciously make changes, not just talk a lot. And we got to also devoid ourselves and detach ourselves from the race hustlers that have been making millions of dollars since the 1960s. We have to, ever since MLK was killed, these Negroes have done nothing but profit off of the pain and the alleged oppression and the boogeymen that they have been selling us. We've got to get rid of them. I'm tired of them, and they still ain't doing nothing. Yet every time, like Miss Mo said, every time a video come out, they on front lines being seen, but nothing at all. And she's right. We got to stop jumping at every time somebody throw us a piece of meat saying brutality, oppression, slavery, for all its ills and horrible conditions. We are no longer slaves. What we're slaves to is the cell phone. What we're slaves to is social media. What we're slaves to is system we are allowing to keep us in bondage. But me being a black man in America is not keeping me from anything. We got to stop telling our kids that. We got to stop telling ourselves that. And we got to stop allowing people who not even in the community to tell us that, no matter what their skin color is. And when we do that, I think we'll start seeing some significant change within the community.
I appreciate that. E-Black, what are some exact steps or a step to change a culture, and what time trajectory, like how long do you think that will actually take, you think?
I mean,
excuse me. I have to go. I have to go.
Miss Moore, I appreciate you coming on, though.
You're welcome. Bye, panel. Hopefully I can, jump on again with you guys. Mwah.
Bye.
All right, take care. There's a first to your first question, right? How long? I mean, change can come tomorrow, technically. Just like music influences everybody, events help. I believe in cultural revolutions. I believe that if you get enough people with a great idea and that's inspirational, you can make change instantly. I do believe that certain things will take time, and that's just the way it is. I still think most organizations can be. I mean, you look at Black Lives Matter. That was a matter of a couple of weeks. So, I mean, cultural change, you've seen people in the streets within a couple of weeks. So, I mean, let's just be honest, change can come and attitudes can be changed within literally nothing. So I do believe that. I don't think it's a pipe dream. So, so if we want to get to the steps, the one thing that I always said that I talk about and I always will preach, it starts with the men. Brothers, if we could start calling each other and making a promise that I will not hate on you, I will build with you, and I will take in consideration your children, then we can create an organization and we can start servicing our local community. That will change the community instantly. If just within us 5 brothers here, right? If we were to make that challenge and make that promise to each other, we can make changes to 30, 40 people, right? Am I wrong? Hank, you got a family? Bishop, you have a family, right?
Right. You're right. I agree 100%.
So that right there changes at least a smaller culture. If we can exponentialize those numbers, then we can see a larger change. The problem is right now, brothers are scared of each other. I always say it. Brothers are too scared. Oh, they gonna shoot me. I'm not messing with them. They gonna kill me. I'm just gonna stay in my own little circle and I'm gonna handle my business with my family, and that's all it is. And until we get men that are willing to say, you know what, I'm willing to speak up, hold other men accountable for their actions, we can start developing a culture and a place to where this world and this Black society can flourish. And I don't know what that would look like. I don't know the timetable, but I could, like I said, we have a lot of examples of how people can wear shirts, buy products within a couple of weeks of an incident. If everybody got online at the exact same time and promoted a certain message at the exact same time, we can start seeing changes within our children. We can start seeing changes within our families and our community. So that's my way. I really do believe that the men have to take control of the society. We cannot depend on the women to make the changes. They will maintain it, but we create the environment, and that's what God has put us on this earth for. So that's my opinion.
E-Black, I do appreciate you, and that's why I did point out, even though we disagree on certain points, but I think relatively we do agree on, I want you to be safe, your family, mine as well. And it's important for, even if you don't, we should be able to be in each other's spaces, even if we don't agree with each other. So I think
your politics sucks. Yeah, I know. Like your political view sucks.
Chill,
where is Black Lives Matter?
Chill, E-Black.
Where's the fat lesbians? Are they serving the community?
hiding in their mansions.
Or is it George Soros that supported Black Lives Matter to be able to fund them, get them the T-shirts, pay them to riot? I mean,
Big
where is
facts.
all that? But you know, I do appreciate that we are able to clash. But even our clashing is just. I haven't said nothing negative about you. You haven't said nothing negative about me. Even though disrespecting Trump that's my nigga. I love Donald Trump more than my own father.
You gotta stop. You got to stop.
Man. I love Donald Trump more than my own father. So don't listen. Disrespect my father, but not Trump. That's all I'm gonna say, man.
Whoa.
So
that's
what it's like. This
you gotta understand. AR is from New York. He and you gotta understand. AR. Trump put out a freaking ad saying you should be hanging these 5 black men in the middle of Times Square. Do you not recognize that you could have been there?
You know, there's a lot of black people that say the same thing.
No, we don't.
Yeah, no, a lot of. Well, I'm in New York, so hold up. But a lot of the black people in the community were saying, "Yeah, kill them niggas," because they believe that they did rape them.
No, hang them.
I don't give a fuck if you throw them off a building. Take them, send the fucking dogs.
Black people don't do hanging. You know that.
They do mass shootings daily, though.
Okay, we don't do hangings.
But there's a difference, I'd rather get shot, But anyway, but my main point is that I am appreciative that we are able to come together, regardless of what we believe in, and be respectful that Trump 2024. But Hank, right? What's your thoughts on? Do you have an exact first step or a step or whatever step? If you was in charge, Hank after 2028, right? 2020, yeah, after Trump. If you was to be president, what exact step would you take to change culture? Oh shit, someone's missing.
Hey man, I just want to say I apologize to my people. I was one of those foolish people who voted for Joe Biden, and I made a mistake, and I apologize. So please forgive me.
No, we ain't forgive me.
Nah, so please forgive me. Please forgive me. So let me say this: we need to change our mindsets. I mean, that's the first thing we need to change, because if we don't change that all these solutions and ideas we're coming up with is not gonna last if we don't change our mindset. We change our mindset, man, we could accomplish way more than we could ever imagine. But I know Coco was saying we need not I don't know, I guess go to war with everybody. Is that what you were saying?
I said we pretty much need to learn our power. We need to understand, like, as cracking jokes, like Biden and Trump, yeah, but I feel like at the end of the day, that government ain't for us. It wasn't designed for us. It was really meant to break us down.
I'm a big fan of less government control.
I'm not 1% that don't care to vote. So either way, I don't believe in deciding one lesser evil over the other.
I'm a big fan of less government control. I said that yesterday, and I'll say it again today. It's least amount of government we can have in our lives and anything like that. I'm all for it. But we got to deal with the current system, what we got, so we just got to deal with it. We know the game. We just got to learn how to play it, man. If we change our mindset, we can play the game a whole lot better.
Exactly.
The game has not changed. We know it's stacked against us. We understand that. We've been understood that. But how are we going to adjust and adapt to the game?
I agree.
We know what the rules are.
I want to adapt to the game.
We gotta play accordingly. Take the rules and take advantage of them. Find the loopholes.
Yep, I agree.
And take advantage of it. But if we're gonna continue to claim, "Woe is me," white man gonna do us in, well, come on, man. We knew this.
Yeah.
How are we gonna adjust and adapt to the game? And that's the only way we're gonna get over and get ahead. We got to learn to play the game better, man.
I do believe we need to, as a collective, I guess temporarily, I'm not sure, stop focusing so much on what happened unless you're going to give reparations, which I don't think is going to happen. But other than that, I think right now, too much focus on slavery. Like bastards, y'all niggas wasn't slaves. But I think there's too much focus on what happened. Too many. Y'all not even focused on what happened with your grandmother. Like it's too long, and I think that's really where we're getting lost at. I believe we're getting lost with trying to create a culture change, but we're focusing on slavery. We're focused on what happened long. I mean, I think we just need to bring a little bit to current times and focus on that. Yes, you want to know your history, to know where you came from or wherever the fuck you came from, but I just think that we need to fall back so much from slavery. And I mean, we gotta admit, listen.
No, remind them every time they get it. You got to remind these people, man.
You can get a black person to work was during slavery. Everyone was working during slavery. The only time you can get them to work was during slavery.
Bruh, AR, I be trying to agree, bro, but you be going too far, man.
But am I wrong? Am I lying?
You're right.
We have more black people working during slavery.
Stop that shit, man.
You're right.
Come on, man.
God damn.
Man, I'm telling you, that truth be hurting, boy.
I'm not even
truth be
gonna lie.
hurting.
Look, here's the deal, right? So we talk about reparations, right? But every year we spend within the black community $1.3 trillion here in the United States alone, right? If we took 25% of that spending power, 25%, let's just say 25% of $1 trillion, that's $250 billion. If we just reinvested that within our own community, take half, $125 billion, and invest it as a collective into an index fund, we as the black community could live off the interest for the next 50 years. And then take the other half and create infrastructure, schools, community centers, businesses, all that spend our money on outside of our community, we would have no need for reparations. And that's only taking 125% chunk of what we already spend every year as a collective. That's all we need to do if we want to talk real power, because money talks. Everything else, bullshit, it walks. And it walks right out the fucking door and goes no fucking where. It just wanders endlessly as we sit on these fucking panels, and talk about bullshit like, oh, I'm 6 foot tall and I make 6 figures. Who gives a fuck, nigga? You still fucking lame, bro. What are you talking about? Are you and is any of that helping the community? No. So shut the fuck up and do something better, my guy. Like you said, E-Black, us men, we're not scared of each other being shot. We scared that we won't get all the credit. We scared that we won't be the one leading the charge. Nobody wants to work in the background. We all want to be the head nigga in charge. If more niggas will understand that you get more done working collectively, meaning most of you will not be in the front, more shit to get done. But everybody want to be the big dick on the fucking heel, not understanding like, yo, nigga, you're not the only one with a big dick, bro. Shut the fuck up. I'm sorry, AR.
No, it's okay. I don't know who has a big dick. I'm not trying to find out, But
my friend
say something right quick?
Let y'all know something. She said, tell them that the Asians community have their own governance within the U.S.
They do.
We ain't Asian.
Majority culture do. We don't.
Yeah, we listen. Don't listen. Whoever's in charge, don't give a shit. Fuck that. Don't give a shit. We don't know how to take care of shit. We trash everything. The pissy hallways, we don't.
Let it go with the pissy hallways.
The project buildings, don't fix that shit. They love that shit. They got the fucking Pookies and Ray Rays and niggas from prison moving. No, don't give a shit. Don't give us reparation. Listen, I think take niggas' internet away. At least have a time slot on it. Yeah, Roberto.
Hey, let me tell y'all something. If y'all want black folks to spend money with black folks' businesses, black folks got to become a lot more professional than what they are. Let me tell you something. When it comes to customer service, we suck. Everywhere we go and you see black people, the customer service suck. The fucking machines ain't working. Let me tell you something. Where I live at, every black business that you drive by have niggas standing in front of it, holding their dicks, cussing and talking shit. That shit got to stop.
Sorry, Coca.
If we want people to patronize our businesses, we gotta get more professional.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I've been to white businesses with bad customer service. T-Mobile has some of the worst customer service. Like we gotta stop with putting ourselves down and admiring other people when we've been experiencing so much shit in our lives
But-
through white businesses, through Asian businesses, through Indian businesses. They trash us out every step they get. They follow us in the stores, but we still go back. But the one black person who don't smile at you and treat you bad.
I don't even work there. I don't work there, and I'll be following too. Like, nigga, I'm making sure you don't steal. But what Roberto said, he's not making up people. When we talking about black people issues, it doesn't mean the other people are better. He's just speaking on these niggas.
Dude,
I would never listen. I don't recommend people living around other black people, a black community, maybe a gated community, but in general, I don't wish them my worst enemy. Hell fucking no. I want you to be safe.
Why is it that you see more fights at Popeyes than you do at Chick-fil-A? Why do you see that?
Them white people fight too for their chicken.
Come on, Coco.
They're not fighting over the chicken nuggets, man. They not fighting over the chicken nuggets.
Let me say this one more thing.
Come on, y'all.
One more thing is, man, we have black stores, and black people always want the hookup, but we don't go in these white stores and ask for a goddamn hookup.
That is true.
We don't do that shit. Only our trash ass community want to go into the black stores, knowing we're trying to do something for the community. But hey, man, I know it costs $3 here, but man, I get it $2.50 at Kroger's. Well, dog, I don't get it in bulk like Kroger does, so I gotta up price a little bit. Hey, man, give me a hookup. What if I get two? Can I get two for $5? No, man, it's $3 a piece. $6, man. Come on, stop this. But that's what we do. We do that bullshit. That black shit.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
I learned to I don't explain what if like I'm a licensed esthetician. I didn't have people come to me with like, oh, well, this all I got. Well, when you get the rest of it, then come back. And someone would think like, well, I'm trying to help you out in business. At the end of the day, this license that I paid for wasn't cheap. It didn't come out of thin air, and the damn show wasn't free. I'm not gonna argue with you if you want to be cheap, but you damn sure ain't gonna argue me about my price. It'd be like in the conversation. I don't even give people prices. I purposely pass in my car with a QR code and a link, because at the end of the day, you go see what the price yourself. Same way you go online and like he said, going Saks and all this Louis Vuitton and stuff, you gonna pay them full price. I don't ask my black people nothing. Like, I don't know, maybe because I'm from Chicago, in most places like with black owned business, now you do get some places that it look run down, but it be them Arabs and them Arabs, them Indian places. But you get them black businesses, certain ones in Chicago, you may get niggas out there, but they spending money in your stuff. Like my brother got a restaurant in a predominantly white mixed neighborhood. I ain't gonna say predominantly white, a mixed neighborhood. And most people doubted him because he's the typical dreadhead. He's the dark-skinned guy. You know, he has a past. And it's sometimes you gotta let people know, don't judge me by what I look. Judge me what I offer you. Customer service is definitely important. So I do agree. You do come across some black people that don't understand customer service. So you tip them accordingly or you don't tip them off. But like he said, I feel like sometimes when we do something wrong, we put it such at a high standards that we give ourselves so many high expectations with black people, but then have at the same time expect low expectation. It's like we don't realize that we put this on each other. Because I didn't went to some business that black people, I will go back. I get my nails done by black people. I don't go to the chinks. This shirt, black. I'll go in the store. They have stores in Chicago where it's 4 black designers in this one store. And I went in there, and just because I'm proud that it's us, it ain't all the designers in there. They got one person running it, and the girl was so dope. I just shopped at each 4 of them because I can't support everybody at a high level at once. But I can buy something to show you that I appreciate you. Stuff that shows like this with Fred Hampton, anything that's us that represent us, that people are proud of, I try to support. You now you do get some that be like, I can't even fuck with it. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Listen, I dedicated myself for the past 10 years. I make sure I wake up. I don't even brush my teeth yet. I make sure the first thing I do come to this computer. And I spend an hour leaving bad reviews on black businesses because I know if I did shop at there,
God, bro.
I know if I did,
yo, bro.
I know. Coming to you, man. Why do I keep coming up on this bullshit, man?
I know if I did shop there,
like that.
I would have had a negative experience, which is part of the reason why while y'all was talking, I went to y'all businesses and I left a bad review because I knew if I shopped at y'all locations, I was going to experience something bad. So since I know that, I'm making sure I spend an hour for the past 10 years. I spend an hour a day. It doesn't matter for my birthday. It doesn't matter when my the day even it doesn't matter who passed away. I make sure this is the first thing I'm doing that game because I want to change the culture.
Yo, Coca, where's your brother? Is your brother's restaurant in the Chi?
Yes, it's in South Shore Drive, like right off you know what a culture center at? Like it's right next to the golf course, you know, and it's crazy. You get one side that's classy, and then you get that one side that's trashy over there. You familiar with that?
Well, my dad's family all live up there. I used to live there until I was about 9. Then we moved to St. Louis. So I spent a lot of my summers up in the Chi. So yeah, I know it very well.
Oh, it's right off Lakeshore Drive. It's South Shore Barbecue and Grill.
All right, I'm gonna let my fam know so they can go support for sure. Yeah, because my brother owns Reggae Belly Catering up there, so
that's
he
dope.
do a lot of he used to do a lot of the dance hall reggae like DJing and stuff around the city. So I'm all about supporting. You know what I mean? So chicken ain't the only good thing up there. You feel me?
Now, E Black, I've been just out of curiosity, I couldn't find anything. What's your business name? So I can just look it up.
I just go to his channel and leave reviews on everything. E Black is trash, bro. I'm telling you.
He goes to my
Daryl Long.
Hold on. No. Stop. We're gonna stop that right there. Nope. We're gonna stop that.
Daryl, my dog. I love Daryl, but
God bless everyone.
You gotta relax.
God bless everyone. But like I just want to remind people.
AR, are you the one disliking my videos before they even post?
No. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I mean, unfortunately, you know, I heavily support E Black. You know, I heavily do. Not just that because I'm cool. I like his content. And Coco, you know, we're all in the same group. I highly, suggest Bishop has a channel too. Roberto's Perspective has a channel. He just recently did a video. Hank, you don't have a YouTube channel, right? You're not trying to build one.
Give me some time. It's coming.
I think you'll be kicked off the platform, bro. Your first video. You're too, I think you keep it too real. You keep it too authentic, and they don't like that, But as soon as you get your channel, let me know, please, because I will definitely I'll be the first one to leave a comment with that thumb that goes like something like I think it does like that, right? Who knows?
Like it. I invite it all, baby.
It's all engagement at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It is, But listen, man, I appreciate everyone come out. Coco, 2 minutes now, right? You got 2 minutes? Okay. All right, man. I appreciate everyone coming out and hanging out with me. And make sure you talk about culture. Make sure you support each other. E Black post. If you have a time schedule when you're normally live, I expect everyone here to at least show up and sit there and watch the shit. Yeah, that's right. You ain't doing nothing anyway but smoking a blunt and getting drunk probably. So before you get drunk, drink your 40s and shit, support them.
Hey, no. We classy these days, bro. Henny, you know what I mean? Anything's possible, bro. You know what I'm saying? Anything's possible.
Hey, Woodford Reserve this way. Woodford Reserve.
Yes, sir. Hey, and a cigar, you Gucci. You good in my book.
I'm pretty sure
AR drinks Milwaukee's best. He's like,
I take him as a Pat Blue Ribbon guy. Yeah, he like that Pat Blue Ribbon.
Roberto, thanks a lot, bro. I appreciate you.
Man.
With the cool
take it easy, man.
All right.
All right, now.
Bishop, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming last minute. I apologize, man. Thanks a lot, man.
Oh, I was just editing a video that I was gonna post. I appreciate you taking up my time. This is 3 hours later, it's gonna get posted, but it's all good, man. I appreciate you having me on, my brother. I got to meet the beautiful Miss Coco Monroe, so it was worth it. Trust me.
Definitely, she's gonna be coming out with some new content on her Instagram. Definitely, did I put you in a group, Bishop?
Yeah. And I went followed her and everything, shot her a message.
Okay,
so,
cool. All right.
I ain't in no group. Wait, what? You keep saying a group. I ain't in no group. What is you talking? Like,
hold on 1 second. You took too long to respond to me. That's why. Hold up. Hold on 1 second. Just stay right there. I want to make sure you get it.
See, this is what I'm saying. Don't nobody invite me to shit.
It's because you toxic, man.
I am not toxic.
Not E Black, you're in the group.
Oh, okay.
So I just tagged you. I just mentioned you.
We're in the group.
You're in the group, man.
Okay.
E Black, I appreciate you taking time. I know you're a family man. You have other things to do, but you was here with me. I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
All right, man. Take care. Hank, man, I do trash talk you quite a bit, but no, I always invite you on because I highly do. I've seen you on other platforms. You're on Lapeef on Sundays, correct? Which is tomorrow.
Sir.
What time?
11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Central. Eastern Standard Time.
So listen, man, I always invite you back on because I do appreciate your mindset and you keep it real.
I appreciate that, brother. Y'all be good now.
All right, take care. All right, bye. So Coco, how was your first panel? How was it?
It was fun.
It was fun? Okay.
Was
Sometimes
fun.
when you have too many people, it can be long-winded, you know?
You know what? I'm big on like listening to other people's point of views and opinion. Whether I agree or disagree, it's good to be insightful because everybody don't think the same way. We not on all one wavelength. So it was dope. I actually enjoyed it.
I appreciate that you coming on. Now, let's spend about a quick minute. Why are y'all black women so angry?
Oh, angry how? Elaborate.
Woof. I mean, well, just I would say extremely aggressive. Probably more aggressive and dominant than a man. And
I think a lot of the time, I know you like to say, let's not talk about the past. I think women are more aggressive and angry as far as being tired. You know, like hypothetically, if you wake up in the morning, you cranky, you tired, you drained, you find yourself being rude when it's unintentional. So sometimes even me, I learned not to let my environment control how I treat others. I always said I would never let my current state affect someone else state of mind or day. But I know a lot of women are tired, they're drained. Being a single mother is not easy. It's days, especially now. I got a teenager. I would wish a teenager on my worst enemy. Like, it's stressful. And then you get up, you know, you're trying to be the best friend. You're trying to pick up your slack. Some women even think that they the father, and they can never be. It's just you put yourself in predicaments that you cannot come out of. I think a lot of the times also we don't have father figures in the house. When you got women teaching women how to be women and men, it messes up the dynamic. And I think Hank said earlier that you need a father in the household, and even if in the household you need a healthy co-parent, because then it gives the child balance. A lot of people don't understand when you don't have balance and you got women trying to be men, they take on that aggression and not realizing that they're really not responsible for the person that slapped. You only responsible at the beginning when you made a decision without evaluating who you with. And even still, sometimes you can evaluate the person and it still come out, shit. But that's just the way life is. Everything is not promised to us. No decision we make that we think is right gonna turn out positive. In life, we have to stop worrying too much. We are a worrying species as women. We worry too much. We afraid to fail because the pressure is on us. I feel like we have too much pressure on us. We give ourselves pressure, but in reality, we have too much pressure on us. Even in a household, you can have two parents in a household on a day-to-day basis, and you will see a child go straight to the mother before going to the father. And it's not saying that the father is not active. It's not saying that he don't care or he's not paying attention. It's just that that's what kids do. And so sometimes unknowingly, that is another added on pressure. And some women may laugh it off, but some women are like, well, damn, like you have a father. You know what I'm saying? Too. Even when my daughter, we in a different household, not tell her before whatever his circumstances was, I'd be like, I'm not your only parent. And it wasn't to sound mean. It was for her to understand, like, I do a lot. And if you only call me when you need something or you want me to get you out of this or protect you, but you call him for the fun. That's unfair to me. And kids, in general, I done it because I only had a mother for the most part, but I had a stepfather who stepped up when my biological one didn't. So ironically, he was more of the lover. My mama was so aggressive. And a long time I thought I had to be aggressive. I thought independence was a goal, and it's really not. That's probably one of the worst word in the world, and we pass that word on like, "Ooh, just be independent." You telling people not to need no one, but then you mad that you told the world you don't need no one. That don't make sense.
You know, I just do that rhetoric out there, but also, you know, obviously, black men are angry too. So it's not just black women. Obviously, black women just are more expressive, verbally expressive, right? But you know, the crime rate in America is very high amongst black men. So we know black men are actually more angry than black women. So I just want to throw it out there. I think it's important for me to be, as a host, to throw these things out there and you defend it, like you just did. You know, but listen, I highly appreciate you, and I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you trusted me enough to come on here. Your friend Fox. Shout out to Foxy Spice, man. You know, shout out to her. Shout out. You know, is there anything you want to say as we're closing out?
Everybody wake up, go to sleep, start it the way you want to end it. Have a good day.
All right, thanks a lot. Okay, we're gonna hit you up.
All right, bye.
What are you doing here? The movie's over.
It's over. Go home.